Welcome to episode 12 of the No Scrubs podcast. I'm your host, Lewis, and joined with me today, a man who I don't have a funny introduction for, Stephen. How you going?
It's been so fucking cold, man. Outside of that, it's been good. As you know, over the past couple of days, or past couple of weeks, we have been quite spoilt for choice in games. We managed to get through a mammoth of a doc last week, 4 hours.
Jesus. Yeah, fuck it out. It's the first time I've had to split the video in two halves and then have them render and then join them together with a really bad cut. It was like a real bad cut because I could have found a legit software, but I was like, Windows Movie Maker, you'll do. That's free. And I was like, I asked Script, being like, oh yeah, well, I can't remember if I asked him or said, you look out for the obvious cut. And he was like, I didn't notice it. I'm like, sweet. He's like, but he was audio only, so yeah. But fuck, it has been chilly, eh? And we're about to hit kind of the longest day, and then it should, in theory, it's not really going to get much colder than it is kind of right now. And then we get out of it. Like, I'm more of a winter than a summer man. Doesn't mean I love winter either at its coldest. I would rather, though, have a 5-degree day than a 35-degree day.
Oh, 100%.
It's, weather's a spectrum, It's just...
I fucking got called out, I got called out by the liquor lady when I was buying my piss. Because I was just like, puffer jacket, and I was wearing shorts, and he was just like, you wearing shorts? And I was just like, I'll never learn my lesson. I've sort of become that person that because I've been wearing like skinny jeans for like 10 plus years of my life, I was just like, sometimes baggy pants. I'm just like, this feels garbage. So I'll wear like death metal branded basketball shorts. And I feel like that's become a core part of my identity at the moment.
You're just wanting the leg hairs to grow back. I get it. You're just like, finally, after years of skinny jeans, you just want the leg hairs back on there. They just haven't had a chance to fucking breathe in 10 years.
Well, also the funny thing is, I would do it all the time to the point where one of the neighbouring shops, lovely lady, a hairdresser, I can just hear her behind me. She's like, do you think... Huh?
Sorry, go on.
She's just like, do you think it's summer? Do you think it's summer? Do you think it's summer? And I was like, who the fuck is this bitch talking to? And then I look around, it's like, she's talking to me. And I was just like, it's not that cold.
It's like, I think it might have been last winter or the winter before. It was actually, it does make sense because it was when I started losing more weight, and it was, yes, it must have been the one before. And I was walking my dog out in the cold until it went down to about 4 degrees, and I was like, I need to get some track pants because out in shorts, just 4 degrees, and I was like, yeah, okay, maybe it's too cold now. Both of my brothers are in Australia. My younger brother, I was talking to him, he's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, well, it's fine, bro, it's fine.
Maybe I'll graduate and be one of those people who wear tights underneath shorts when, pants would just remedy the situation.
I'll never become that person, but I could see you doing something like that because you have a fashion metamorphosis every like 3 years. So
you're right. I had a pompadour stage.
Yeah, there was that photo of us. We were at our mate Hamish's house. It was the Scrumpy Hands night. And I was like, oh, my fashion senses are pretty much the same, except now I do up one more button than I used to. Because I used to just wear a dress shirt kind of fucking loose. Like, yeah, I'm wearing a beer shirt. Look at that, mate. Space. Right of the south. Right of the south. And I was like, yeah, I'll just do one more button up and, short hair and a beard. And I was like, oh yeah, and look at Steven, and he's wearing like leopard print drop crotch or something, and it was like, it was a look, but you rocked it. But it was like, man, 10 years has passed and mine hasn't changed at all, and yours has changed like 3 times since then.
Dude, I remember one of the. It wasn't intentionally backhanded. I remember with an old manager, he was just like, "Oh, do you have much? Do you reckon you could come and do the night shift?" I was like, "Nah." He's like, "Why not?" I was like, "I'm going to the gym straight after work," and he's just like, "You do strike me as a." He's like, "I always knew you went to the gym," and I was just like, "Oh yeah, what made you say that?" I was speaking to be like, "Oh, your arms are looking big, you got broad shoulders." It's like, "It's the haircut." I was like, "Fuck's sake."
Yeah. Can't argue with that, mate. Can't argue
Yeah.
with that at all. So we got a small doc today, but to be fair, last week was absolutely fucking massive. So I'm
So much happened.
yeah, I'm kind of glad we got a small doc. So some of the stuff's actually from a few weeks ago as well, and just didn't get around to it. And then it's been slow in between, but there's a couple of things in there. So EA's cancelled their Black Panther game, and they've closed Cliffhanger Games. So this is a game that I believe it was in pre-production for about 4 years, and they were like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And they just shut down the whole thing because they pre-production for 4 years. That's far too long. This studio, and I know this tips on like culture war stuff, but one of the studio leads was saying she was like, "I don't hire white people." And I thought it was just kind of fucking weird. And she's like, "I want to make a safe space for people, so I'm not hiring white people." I'm like, that's so weird. It's just straight up racism. Like, just casually, like if it was the other way around, someone's like, "I want people to feel safe, so I'm not going to hire black people." You're like, that's really fucked up. That's racist. But I feel like that it'd be if you say that about any race, regardless.
I feel like, and not being culture warrior or anything, but I feel that you could probably say something along the lines of, we don't hire majority white people because we feel that a diverse experience from different walks of life, different creeds, different cultures will add to the work culture, but also we'll be able to add in aspects of the games or viewpoints from other people. But saying like the implication that like you could be violent because you're white, it's like if you said, "Hey, we don't want X colored person," it's like because we don't want our team to feel unsafe. It's like, so the implication is you think they are basically, for better or for worse, well, in less words, it's like you're basically saying that these people are genetically programmed to make it a not safe space.
Yeah,
like
which is weird. It's just a weird thing to say. So
yeah.
I was like, I'm not particularly upset seeing a studio like this close down when that's their culture. They didn't put out a fucking product. It's just pretty piss poor management, really, at the end of the day. But look,
Like,
I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. And I think as well something you said about it's something that's really interesting. It's about if you just hire purely on merit, you end up with a mixing pot of cultures and races and stuff anyway. Like
100%.
that's what always happens. So I think you probably should just hire on merit for these kind of jobs. But you know, just being like, even just looking at the situation and being like, yeah, you kind of suck, and I'm not going to lose any sleep over this. You know, people will think that you're on a particular side of the culture war, but no, I just think we're just looking at it objectively. And if it was literally any other races of people, you swap them around, you'd be like, yeah, that kind of sucks. And it's different in a country like Japan, for example, where there isn't actually a large population of non-Japanese people. Somewhere like America, it is much more of a melting pot. You know, so it makes sense that you'd have a large amount of different types of people from different backgrounds and all sorts. You know, so
yeah, like it just comes across as just racist.
Yeah. So
Like, not gonna go into the whole meme of like can't be racist to white people. It's just like you can definitely be prejudiced, and the fact that you feel it's just like no whites allowed because they want a safe work environment. It's just like,
isn't that
wow.
what NWA stands for?
Yeah. Shout out to your boy that's gonna make me pop a blood vessel. I hate him so much, I can't even remember his name.
Paul Giamatti.
Yeah, I'm blind rage, but in the mind.
Steven fucking hates that actor so much for no reason. It's just has this...
I would say it's because he is a good actor. A good actor is you can get a response, like an angry response, because they're playing a dickhole character really well.
Like,
just
the kid who played Joffrey in Game of Thrones, and people were sending him death threats to a literal child because he acted very well. Which, that thing's so bizarre to me. I'm like, how do you not understand that this is a character on a television show that you're going to send a child actor death threats, you absolute fucking morons?
Yeah.
It's crazy. And, like, any of this stuff, like, you shouldn't ever send any threats or any hate to just anyone regardless, right? It's just better that, I think it's good to talk about these things, but you don't want to be like, we're not going fucking at these people on Twitter like, glad you lost your job, bitch, you fucking racist. You just go, that sucks. Anyway, moving on.
Well, the thing... There was another actor where I watched a movie. It's a pretty good movie. It's called We Need to Talk About Kevin. And the main character is so unlikable. And I was just like, I don't hate the... It's like, I don't hate this character because, like, it was one of those things like, oh, this character is such a dickhole. And it's like, they're a really good actor. Turns out the actor is an actual dickhole. You ever heard of Ezra Miller?
That was some Mike Peakin, that's for sure. Yeah, Ezra Miller, it was so weird, like, how they were just going on some fucking assaulting spree and kidnapped a woman and their child and stuff like that, and in Hawaii and stuff. And some reason kind of just got off pretty much scot-free, really? Like, what the fuck?
I think a lot of it was because it's like at the time they was like, he's a real valuable asset to
hey mate, they're a...
sorry they were a really big asset to the Flash, which I think they were sort of hinging on for, like, trying to make their multiverse, like the DC multiverse, like real pack up.
Yeah, I think they were trying to hinge on that, and apparently that movie was fucking awful. I never saw it. I'm gonna give this James Gunn Superman a go though, because I do like James Gunn a lot. So
hey,
I'm going to give it a crack.
I'm just gonna chuck out a recommendation. I like, yep, Cape Shit Fatigue has settled in years ago, but and Netflix slop fatigue, but one of the best superhero adaptations I've seen is the Netflix Punisher series.
Oh yeah, it's a good
and the actor, like he is him, he is Timothy.
Yeah, I do like what's his
Joe Bernthal?
John Bernthal. He is good. He's a good actor. Like, he's someone that when I first saw him, I didn't think there's something about him that I didn't think he was a good actor, and I couldn't tell you why, but I had no reason to think that. And then the more I see him, I'm like, nah, he's good, man. And he seems like a pretty down to earth dude as well.
So hopefully that new Netflix show will loop into bringing Punisher back for another season.
Yeah, I did hear that this season of Daredevil wasn't as good as the previous ones, but the guy who played Kingpin, who was also fun fact, the guy from Men in Black who was like, it'd be sugar and water.
Is he the guy?
More.
The actor has real shaky pupils.
Does he? I don't
Watch
know.
it.
He was
Watch
in
a
Full Metal
scene.
Jacket as well.
Because if he saw him, he might have been in like a crime show I watched, and I was so distracted because like his pupils like jitter very slightly.
Dude,
Like,
there was a guy that we used to deal with through work, and his eyes would do that, but like intense. They would the whole time. They're like,
Are you sure he wasn't shoplifting? He was looking to see if he was going to get caught.
oh, I was at his business. So he was going to steal from
and
himself. He was going to steal from himself. You never know. But
he
it was
reaches
just
into
intense.
the toe and looks at you and goes, shh.
But I wanted to, like, you didn't know if you wanted to keep making eye contact because then would he think that you're staring at his shaky eyes? You know what I mean? You're being polite, so you're making eye contact, but you're like, is this going to be like he's staring at my weird eyes, I know it.
No, I feel it'd be weird. It would be weird if like you're looking at him and you're going like this. Am I still in focus? Am I still in focus?
Yeah, he didn't like when you did that.
It's like he's like I'm not a goddamn metronome.
Well, he could have been. You haven't met him.
True.
The human metronome, not in the way you think. So yeah. Anyway, cliffhanger games.
Ended on a cliffhanger. Well, actually, no. There was a resolution, and that was going under.
So I probably wouldn't have played the game anyway. Also, like you say, it's more cape shit. It truly have to be an exceptional superhero game for me to be interested at this point.
People are hanging out for Wolverine game.
It's Insomniac, so it'll be good regardless, right? The thing is, Insomniac, I know there was a weird kind of period where they did actually make some average games, but for the most part, Insomniac don't really miss. You know, you play as much as I'm more of a Crash Bandicoot than a Spyro, but Spyro's great as well. I do enjoy the Spyro 1 especially, but then I was more of a Ratchet and Clank, which is them, than Jack and Daxter, and they did Ratchet. Those games are fucking excellent.
Which is so funny because like I played both. Definitely gone into Crash first, but you know, surely there was like a buddy rivalry because like we're the two mascot platformers of the PlayStation era, and then they do it again in like with Jack and the Ratchet games, and I was just like, dude, I love me some Spyro, but Crash all the way. And it's like that's going to be the same with Jack and Daxter. History will repeat itself. And then after Jack X, not counting Lost Frontier, that's garbage.
That also wasn't Naughty Dog. Lost Frontier.
True.
Jack X also actually fucking rules. Super underrated
so
gem. Genuinely really good.
They stopped at like Jack X, but Ratchet and Clank just kept on going. Yeah, they had some pretty forgettable titles under their belt, and they've sort of moved away from like the porny sounding titles like Up Your Arsenal and Size Matters. But no, they were workhorses. They respected that IP and just kept on pumping.
I feel like Size Matters wasn't them either, though. I think most of those Ratchet games were them, but I think Size Matters was someone else. But I just want to double check if that is the case. High Impact Games. So it looks like they worked on it with High Impact Games. So it was mostly them from what I can see. Yeah, developed by High Impact Games. What have they done? Oh mate, here we go. They did Lost Frontier. And it's Secret Agent Clank. Who's the studio that made Daxter? Because that was someone I think is gone now. Maybe Ready at Dawn? Yeah, Ready at Dawn made Daxter. Did you ever play that? It was really fucking good for a handheld game, especially.
No, but I saw my mate play it because I didn't have a PSP growing up.
Oh yeah, no, that'll do it. Yeah, they did so they first did Daxter, which is their very first game, which great start.
Hell yeah.
They did God of War Chains of Olympus. It says here they developed Okami, but I feel like they're like a support studio on Okami. I don't think that was actually just them out of the gate. They
I
then
thought it was
made,
Clover that made Okami.
yeah, I think you're right. So I think they're a support studio on that. And then they did God of War Ghost of Sparta. They helped on the God of War Origins collection. They made the Order 1886, which, yes, it was a short game, but I actually quite liked it. Deformers, which didn't do well. And then they made some VR games before they got closed down. They made Lone Echo, Echo Arena, Echo Combat, Lone Echo 2. Lone Echo games are considered to be pretty good VR games, and then they got canned. Insomniac also made some VR games as well. This is before they were bought by PlayStation, because they always had that partnership with them, but then they're like, we want to do our own thing, and we want to do a game for Xbox. And then I believe, what was the name of the game that Insomniac made for Xbox? Do you remember?
Sunset Overdrive? No.
Nailed it. Yeah, that's it.
Edison?
It's got a Steven vibe to it, that game.
Dude, I played it.
Yeah, you enjoy it?
I loved it.
Yeah. You can see the Spider-Man DNA in that as well, eh?
Oh, it's real funny because, like, it was when we went into lockdown.
Mm.
And I was just like, oh, Sunset Overdrive, because that was, like, a Xbox exclusive game. I remember seeing trailers, I was like, this looks fucking sick. It was just, like, third-person shooter, but, like, the majority of it takes place, like, on, like, grinding rails.
Yeah.
And then it came to Game Pass, and I was just like, I'll give it a dabble. Let's see. And I was like, dude, this thing is crack.
It's a fun gameplay loop.
Yeah, very, very fun gameplay loop, and it had a silly story to accommodate that gameplay loop, which was good.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I don't remember how we got here, but Wolverine. We're talking about Wolverine, and then it was Insomniac, and yeah, we haven't seen anything on Wolverine in ages. They had that massive leak where it leaked just all of Insomniac's financials and everything, and now we haven't seen anything about Wolverine since. I think a major build of the game leaked as well. But yeah, I want to see what Insomniac's will go. Didn't talk about Resistance Fall of Man. So one of, I think, the most iconic PS3 series, and it sold like shit. It sold real bad. I had no idea. I remember playing it. I played it back in the day, and I thought it was good, but it didn't blow me away. I loved Gears of War. I loved Halo 3. I was just enjoying playing the Xbox stuff more, so Resistance didn't really blow me away. But it's a game series like I wish got remasters, because I really would want to go through and experience them from start to finish.
Didn't Periphery provide a song for the soundtrack?
I think that was Homefront.
Homefront.
One of the Homefront games, I'm pretty sure. So, yeah, I believe Homefront wasn't received the best, but it's something where people are like, the story seems really cool, and the execution of the game was average. I've never dabbled them, so these are just things I've heard, mate. Through the ether, the grapevine, even. You know, we don't play games here, mate. We just talk about them.
Yeah.
Imagine we're just faking playing games as well this whole time. Yeah, I had to pay a Filipino child $30 to play Elden Ring Nightreign on my Steam account. But fuck.
What do you do in your spare time? I was like, I'll read books. I was like, what about all that paraphernalia behind you? Rentals.
Yeah, it's cost me thousands of dollars just to rent this nerd shit. Because I could have just bought it outright, but I just rent it because I'm an idiot.
It's like, why do you own? It's just like, why don't you want to buy it? And it's just like, well, I want girls to come around.
Previously, when I was a single man, I had to preface like giving the tour, but like, all right, here's the virgin shelf. Here it is in all its glory. I get a laugh out of that, you know. So that's fine. Now I don't talk to women. Just one.
Yeah, I was about to say, because woman is plural.
So, Cyberpunk 2 has been announced and is in pre-production. So they're actually going to call it Cyberpunk 2 as well. It's not going to be Cyberpunk 2078 or anything like that. It's Cyberpunk 2. So, I enjoyed what I played of the first one. I put like a little over 20 hours into it. and I felt like I'd kind of exhausted the gameplay loop. That was before the massive overhaul. But I want to get back to it because the story was good, but I just got bored of the gameplay after a while. I just felt like, yes, you had different ways you could tackle things, but ultimately it was like, go here and hack a thing, or go here and kill this person. The side quests were great in it, but I am interested because CD Projekt Red, you know, I want to see what they can do. Our old mate Ruben, Cyberpunk 2077 is his favourite game of all time. And I was
yeah.
Wow, this has surprised me. I thought it was very good, but your favourite game? Okay, interesting. But everyone's got different tastes, so good on him. Glad he enjoyed it. He played it on PC as well, not, you know, wasn't playing it on release on PS4 or anything.
Because I remember watching friend of the stream, Hamish play it. I think it was for PS5.
I think it was on PS5, yeah.
Yeah, and it must have been a part in the game he was up to. It was where you had to fight these two guys who are like genetic, their brains like linked. They're the same person, but they share two bodies. And pretty sure Hamish was playing on the hardest difficulty level, and just fight, die, get it. And I was just like, this isn't a good exposure to Cyberpunk, because it's like, this looks like a slog.
Yeah.
But
it's fair. Most of the fights are not like that, but yeah, especially you're playing on the hardest difficulty, probably not a best idea. Like, that's all you got to experience, right? So it's not like you chose that, but that's never the best way, I think, to show anyone a game, eh? Like, seeing the first time, like, oh yeah, you just played on this. It's real good, but if I get shot twice, I die. Oh, okay, fair enough. So I know you're not a Western RPG guy. I'll be honest, I probably won't. It's in pre-production, so I would expect this game to come out in another. Oh, dude, if it's in pre-production, maybe it's 6 years. It could be 6 years away. Really?
Cyberpunk 2 on the Switch 2?
Yeah, if I maybe
off the album Switch 2?
Hey, you never know, man. It's possible.
By the band Switch 2?
Nah, they've gone too far this time. They've gone too far. We're supposed to be getting Witcher 4 next year, and then they can go full production on that, and it'll probably have DLC. So yeah, I mean, I'm interested anyway in seeing what they do. So I also, there's a few studios out there that I'm like, man, I wish I was more into this shit, because it seems really cool. But when I booted out The Witcher 3, I just ended up playing a heap of Gwent and just put the game down after just playing Gwent.
Sounds like a tenner. Sounds like a tenner.
Yeah, I just can't help myself, man. I just have card game autism, and I just want to play card games all the time. Like Hearthstone.
Autism.
I've been playing Hearthstone for 11 years, mate. I think it's been out 11 years now. I started playing on the first year at launch, and I just keep playing it. I played it a little bit when I got home as well. It's good shit, man. Just love a card game.
I have like a thing with The Witcher 3 is I haven't finished it. I don't even think I've gotten that far in it.
I haven't finished it. Hell, I haven't even started it.
No, I've sunk in some hours in it. The problem is I've seen Hamish play a fair bit. I've seen my mate Gage play a fair bit of it, and I've watched two of my exes watched it, and I was just like, I know there's probably a lot more to discover, but when I did play, I was like, oh, I'm up to that scene that I saw before. It's like, oh, I'm up to that scene where Hamish is up to, and it kind of like sucked a little bit of the excitement out of me, because I had like a little bit of an inkling of what was going on.
Yeah, I get that. Sometimes it's good to give it a bit more time as well. So yeah, you've put just about 10 hours into it.
No, more than that, I'm sure. Oh wait, have you checked my Steam profile?
I have.
Yeah, yes. I guess that's it.
No,
10 hours.
I put more into that.
No,
I've got 8 hours in it, and 5 hours of that was Gwent, and 3 hours was game.
And
dude,
the
other couple of
hours. Jeez. I remember when I got when I bought my first computer, I got The Witcher straight away because I was just like, dang, 30 huck. And then I bought Cuphead, and then I was playing Cuphead and some emulated games, and my dad sort of made like a backhanded compliment. I was playing like it must have been one of the Breath of Fire games, and Dad was like, "Huh?" I'm like, "What's up?" Like, you spend X amount of grand on a grunty PC, and you're playing that. That's interesting. And I was just like, yeah, hold on. And then I bought another game. I was just like, fuck, doesn't this look cool? It was near Automata. So I was just like, nah. Dad's just going to think I'm horny. So showing him this, it's going to do nothing.
He's going to know you're horny, I think, more accurately.
It's like, oh, you've been staying with us a little bit too long, son.
Time to head out in the world on your own.
Oh, I could pack your bags if you like.
And then you just got the fucking sack over the shoulder and the sad music's playing as you're walking out, dragging your PC along the ground.
Tying a red headband around my head, like instead of Ryu scouring the world to fight people, I'm just scouring places I can plug in my PC.
You go to your local Macca's, mate, plug the PC in. Yeah, now we're gaming. I've only got an hour on the Wi-Fi. Better make it worth it.
Then I'm playing and
get some ranked games of Street Fighter 6.
I'm playing. Oh, this was years before Street Fighter 6 came in.
Street Fighter 4.
Yeah. Street Fighter 5 hadn't even released yet.
Here we go.
No, and I'm just playing, and I just press the button to, because in Nier Automata you press the button, hold down some buttons, and you explode. It just means like you suffer shit ton of damage and you lose your skirt. About to set it off, imagine just like seeing like a family and their kids come. It's like, oh, don't look at me the way I live my life right now, please.
You get done for indecent exposure, and it wasn't even you exposing yourself. Terrible fate.
He was playing Chinese porn games in public. I was like, I wasn't.
Not even Chinese. Stop it. You don't even know. So Cyberpunk 2, yeah, it's got a...
yeah.
It's a development. I feel like it's a blessing and a curse, CD Projekt Red being so, like, transparent about all this stuff, to be like, look at this. You're like, okay, I know with Cyberpunk it got delayed so many times, and then everyone's like, put it out. And they were like, okay, we'll put it out. And then they put out an unfinished product. So now everyone's like, oh, we've kind of learned.
Was it unfinished, or was it poorly optimized for, like, the last gen?
Both. So they didn't release with a native PS5 and Xbox. Oh, did it? I can't remember. Did it come out in their lifetime, or did it come out
in the PS4 lifetime?
Well, look, when it did. Cyberpunk. Let me see if it come out. All right, December 2020. Okay, PS5. That was November 2020. Okay, so PS5 did launch a little before it, but it didn't launch with like a native PS5 version and stuff. The PS4 version ran on the PS5 and ran much better, but it still wasn't great. But I understand, in hindsight, they shouldn't have done it at all on PS4. It just couldn't really handle it. But they were self-publishing, and they were like, oh, we've got to try to sell as many as we can to actually make our money back. Like, I get it, you want to put it on the largest platform, but ultimately you should have seen it be like, it just isn't going to work, and just focused on the next gen stuff at that point. So they made a misstep with that for sure. They should have,
But then you have like decisions like releasing Mortal Kombat 1 on the Nintendo Switch.
And I still feel like that. I'm like, look, I know that looks ugly as sin and runs like shit, but I still am like, it's kind of a miracle that it's running at all. It's kind of like, there is some wizardry going on. But I am I don't want to see any of these new Nintendo games even running on the Switch 1 at all anymore. It's like, you just have to be like, look, we're fucking done with it. This thing runs like a fucking a dog, mate. It runs like a fat dog on a moon hopper, you know? Also,
Poetic.
That's one that I stole. I didn't come up with that, just so you know. I feel like that was a 0 punctuation quote from like 8 years ago or something.
But it paints a picture.
Yeah, you're seeing them like boing, boing, boing. There's a fat dog, and he's as Peter's dog Mac, but he's like laid back. Actually, he's like, he won't get there fast, but fuck, he'll get there. I love that dog. That's my fucking dude.
Don't say that around Keith. You get jealous.
He's too dumb to understand me. Don't worry. All right. Anyway, so the next CD Projekt Red thing was Witcher 4 tech demo. So this is running on Unreal Engine. They showed it off, and I wasn't like crazy, like blown away by it. It was like, oh, this is really good. This looks looks awesome. But it wasn't like we used to have absolutely fucking wild tech demos, right? Unreal, especially on Unreal, we used to get when they show off the Unreal Tournament and stuff like that, and they show off those trailers. And there was one game that I think it was Epic Games that they were showing it off to show off the Unreal Engine, and it was Samaritan. And I remember seeing it, and being like, "Holy shit, this looks fucking awesome!" Game never came out. We used to see. It was funny because it would almost be the generation after when graphics would kind of look like the tech demo of that generation. And I just think it's going to be really hard, especially now that everyone's like, we want 4K. And it's just the tech just isn't going to advance as fast, I don't think, now that everything's so much higher resolution. Like that whole thing with the Oblivion remake being how many fucking times bigger? Like the file size is like 47 times bigger or something like that.
Jeez.
And it's just fucking obscene, and I that's one of the reasons why I think that, you know, we're not gonna get these crazy visual fidelity boosts, because this is a tech demo. Right? I don't believe The Witcher 4 is going to look like this. And people are like, nah, that was running on the base PS5 though. And I'm like, yes, but it's a tech demo. We've seen tech demos over the years, and when the games come out, they never look like this. Not even a tech demo. The Watch Dogs trailer, when Watch Dogs 1 released, even like the PC version running full tit didn't look half as good as that. The rain in that trailer, you're like, holy shit, this is the game. This is the best thing you don't even have games looking like that now. The original Cyberpunk, as at one of the game shows, and they showed off as like, this is gameplay. The game didn't look like that after fucking 5 years of patches. It doesn't look as good as that did. It was 5 years ago. Well, probably 6 years ago they showed that. So
was that?
Yeah.
Was that because I remember there was a big rock up about where with the Watch Dogs trailer, the game didn't look nearly as pretty as the tech demo. Wasn't there something similar with one of the Alien games where like the trailer looked real detailed and amazing? The actual game itself, it was like just looks like a first person, like your average first person survival shooter.
Probably Colonial Marines. That game released broken, and then it turned out there was also one line of text that made the game playable or something that needed to be fixed. People found like much later. It's probably that one. I think it was done by Gearbox. Fucking Randy Pitchford.
You saying one line of text remind me. Mate was telling me that
one line of code. I meant, but it's code is text. But you know what I mean. Sorry.
Mate was telling me with one of the Guilty Gear games, I have a feeling it might be Strive, that if you delete this file, game won't run. The game file, it's called Goku.
I have heard about these things in game development where how it's all just there's certain things that are just barely holding on together. There's like something in like a Valve game, if you deleted a picture of a potato, the game would not boot anymore or something. It's just stupid shit like that. It's just behind the scenes all cobbled together. There's just all sorts of shit. So that's why there's always leftover things in code and stuff all the time, because it's like, oh, this actually links to something else and we just have to leave it in or it'll break. You go, oh, okay, fair enough. So I saw a heap of game journalists being like, no, it is going to look like this because this is already running on the PS5. And you're like, this is a completely like curated thing. This is just a little slice of it that everything, the character's moving really slowly through and the camera's turning really slowly and panning. Like, and I'm sure that as soon as everything's off screen, it just instantly disappears so it can still look that good and run on PS5. Like, this is not going to, at least on PS5, the game is not going to look like that. It's not going to look as good as that. It might get it closer than we think, but I couldn't believe how irresponsible it was for all these game journalists being like, no, it is going to look like that. I'm like, you're a fucking game journalist. You've seen this for years. Why are you the one saying, nah, it is? And all the fucking plebs are like telling you it's not, cunt. Like,
fell for it again award.
Yeah, why? I don't know. It almost feels like the game journalists are trying to be like, because I guarantee as well, they'll be like, we warned you, and you're like, no, you didn't, cunts. No, you fucking didn't. You were the ones gassing it up. But yes, it looks cool. It's nice to see the potential of future games and what they may look like. But
I like the idea of what they're doing for like densely tree populated areas, like that whole nanite engine thingy looked pretty cool.
So are you going to bed?
Nanite. Nanite.
Nano
like
machines.
Nano machines, son. No, but like the foliage look and stuff like that looked cool. But you were saying it's just like as soon as they like that with like the deliberate camera panning, it sort of reminds me of things that looked hype. Like I remember when the first Injustice came out. Oh, it was coming out and they were showing like character reveals.
Yeah.
And they'll show them doing a string of combos with a sort of a 2.5D camera angle. I was like, that looks so sick. And it's just like you can't do it in the game. They did like a smoke and mirrors like just for a trailer.
And I still think Injustice looked and played awesome, except you go back and you look, some of those hitboxes in that game are fucked, bro. Some of those hitboxes are so bad. But I loved Injustice, but it still suffers from the NetherRealm thing of like the hit confirms just look real clunky. Just disjointed, eh? Yeah. It feels super disjointed overall, but Injustice, I had a good time. I had a good time playing it. I think it was when the second one came out. One of my flatmates at the time, our friend Jesse, when he was living with me, and I was working like some big weeks at that point, and I hadn't played it at all. He just played because I was like, oh, do you want to jump on? He's like, no, not yet. I need to practice my combos, and I'm like, okay, I haven't even played it all yet. Sweet. And then when we played, because he had just been drilling combos and I hadn't played it all, just comboed the fuck out of me. And I was like, oh, great. But he's one of these dudes that he has to make sure he's gotten on the practice before he plays anyone. He's just one of those guys. And
he's
got
the fighter's mindset.
I just want to like verse someone and figure it out as I go. And if you're going in at the same floor, I find that more fun, and then you kind of learn. But learn all the 10-hit combos and shit, and then just beat my ass. I'm like, that was a game. And then I had to play the single player and come back and then beat his ass.
Yeah, well, it was just like when we dabbled Street Fighter 5, when I wasn't using my main Alex, and you dabbled a wee bit. Oh no, better example, Blade Strangers. Like, I might have gone around on you, and you're figuring it out. And then as soon as you got, like, the mechanics and, like, everything, you were flooring me each round.
Yeah, I needed that time to click.
Yeah.
Starring Adam Sandler.
It's just
Yeah,
cornflakes.
we've done that. We've done that as well. Like with both of us, when because Steven's much better at Street Fighter, I'm much better at Tekken, and we'll sometimes just jam some games, and we know that the other one's going to kick our ass at the select game, but it's like, cool. We'll play different characters. We'll try to figure things out and not just try to absolutely. Because the thing is, you can't just go easy in a fighting game. It just doesn't work like that. You can dial it back a little bit, but it's pretty obvious. Like, oh, he's just not going for attacks right now.
I remember one time just. It's not a proud one, not at all, because I tried helping the kid out. I remember it was when Street Fighter 4, you could play Street Fighter 4 at one of the Armageddons, and I jumped on, and I got a couple of wins against some people. Then this guy just played as a Blanca that didn't know how to break his defense, and he owned me. But I was just like, it was sort of a winner stays on, next person sort of thing, and I'm fighting this little kid jumps on, and I'm doing a little bit of zoning, and he's just like, oh, how do I do that? And I was like, sorry? And I was like, oh, the Hadoken input. And he's like, yeah. It's just like, oh, down forward. And he's like, I can't do it. I was like, oh, here's it. I showed him the controller. It's just like, just roll your thumb like this and just hit this. And he said, no, I still can't do it. And I was just like, well, and then I just kicked his ass.
You're like, I can only do so much for you kids.
Yeah, exactly. Or one with a sure you can, if that's any consolation.
Look, you got to learn today.
I stopped using the Hadoken because I was just like,
Then they hit it with a Tatsumaki, mate. Just fucking. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's not the first time I've fought in the street, mate. I can tell you that much. I haven't played Street Fighter probably since the last time we played, to be honest.
Dude.
Yeah,
Elena is such a great character.
I saw you got like 250 hours on that bad boy.
Yeah.
Be dabbling. Yeah, so
anyway, yep.
Witcher 4 tech demo. It's a tech demo. Looking forward to seeing some game when they finally show some actual gameplay. Should be cool.
Like when they showed off like the whole like muscle and ligaments like in motion with the horses, like, yeah, but do the nutsack shrink when it's cold? That's what I want to know.
Dude, that's hilarious. I was talking to my boss about this, and that's an exact example I gave him. That was the exact thing. And I was like, because he was talking about, he's like, yeah, because he wasn't super wowed by it either, big Witcher fan, but he was like, yeah, well, I play games to really immerse myself. And he's like, you see the horse walking? And he's like, I'm not seeing dirt and dust flick up from its feet. And I'm like, bro, I don't give a fuck about that shit at all. I'm like, I get it. I'm like, okay, footprints in the snow. Now we're fucking talking. Love that shit. And I was like, yeah. And he was talking about the horse's muscles. He's like, oh, that's really cool, though, And I was like, yeah. Yeah, what really gets me into games is I really need to see the testicles of the horse shrink when it's in the cold. He's like, what? I'm like, bro, Metal Gear Solid. What do you mean?
Red Dead.
I thought Metal Gear Solid did it as well. I thought it was a Hideo Kojima thing, wasn't it?
Potentially. I thought it was a Red Dead thing.
You know what? You could be right. We're going to settle this. We're going to settle this right now.
Look up horse nuts. Nothing else.
Shrinking horse balls video game. Right? It's Red Dead. I think you're right. I think you nailed it. I thought it was that. See, my boss should have known this because he is a big Red Dead fan. 7 years ago, is it? That's crazy. Game. Let me see. Oh, you know what it was in Metal Gear Solid? It was the horse shitting in real time.
Yeah.
So it wasn't the horse. Yeah, that's where I got mixed up. But no, you were right, mate. I will concede.
No, because there's two things that I know about. Well, one thing I know about in Red Dead is like the horse nuts. But was it Red Dead that did it first or The Witcher? Because I the first time I encountered it was in Breath of the Wild, and I was like, dude, I love this mechanic of you being on a horse, and as long as there's like an established path, the horse will automatically just start tracking it, like following it.
It is cool. I'm not sure who did it first, actually, but it's a cool feature. We love that shit.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool shit, but it's a tech demo, so it's just like temper expectations.
Absolutely. You got to be realistic about this shit, man.
You've been burned before.
I'm going to let myself get hurt again.
I think I'll eat it now.
So, did you see about a Concord dev that sold their like development plaque, or trying to sell it? And there was an auction for it. There, last I saw it was over $3,000. But it had her name and everything on it. But it has like you made this. Yeah, here's your copy of it and stuff like that on like the plaque and you're like, man, that really sucks. Even if it was something like that, maybe I wouldn't display it in my home, but I wouldn't get rid of it. Do you know what I mean? I would still keep it to be like, look, this game flopped, but I'm proud of the work that I did on it. And those devs,
yeah.
The thing is, like, that it was a game that the market didn't want. It wasn't that it was actually a horrific game. It wasn't like poorly developed or anything. The game I played when it was in that free weekend for the beta. The game played pretty good. It wasn't the best shooting I've ever experienced in a game, but it wasn't bad at all. It was like, I was like, oh man, I wish some of my friends were interested in this. I couldn't get a single one of my friends to boot it up on the free weekend. That should have been enough to know that game was doomed. No one wanted to fucking play it except me. And I was like, yeah, it's fine, but I probably won't buy it when it comes out. That was it. And, sure enough, after 2 weeks, it died. So I feel bad for this dev that was like so ashamed of this that they gave it to like fucking Goodwill or something like that in America. But like, yeah, fucking take it. I don't want it. But, man.
It's also like odd, like you wanting to like sell something that's uniquely personal to you. So like the only people who are going to buy this are like shit posters with a lot of money, or people who are like, never forget that this company sucked. I just don't see why anyone see any like monetary value in like something like that.
Yeah, I feel
it's
like
sad.
Your game historians and stuff like that will want it. It's a piece of history in a way, because one day when there's never gonna, nobody's gonna remember this game like at all, and we'll have this random plaque somewhere to be like, remember Concord? No, neither do I. But I was also happy to make jokes about it because I'm a shit. I love taking the piss, but this just feels bad, man. And
yeah,
just these.
It's like the gaming equivalent of Scribe selling his awards for like meth money.
Yeah, funny that he worked with P Money and then he sold his awards for P Money. Life has many. Let's rewind that. Life has many doors, Ed boy. Nailed it. Boom. We ain't cutting shit. We don't edit this. What do you mean?
One take.
Raw dog. Except for that time I had to edit those two together. That's a little different.
And that one time,
4 hours this time, so it won't happen again. Anytime
soon. Or like that one time you did the intro, and then think you might have like slightly fumbled. It was like, fuck it, let's redo it.
I think it's happened twice. Twice in 12 episodes. Look, not the best run, but not the worst.
No, it's good, and also it's just like, no, I'll share that. I'll share that for when we're off the pod. But
okay,
yeah.
This is something though that it was one of Alex's friends was talking about. She was watching Cold Ones and them trying to do like an intro or an outro or something, and they were, Chad was drunk, but also just that is one of the hardest parts to do because it's your least authentic part, right?
Yeah.
You're doing an intro or an outro, like everything else. Like yes, we've got these guidelines and stuff, but nothing's rehearsed. It's all organic, and the only things that, we don't really do even a rehearsed outro or anything either. It's just the intro that's like the professional thing Okay, professional, whatever. But it's not really. But that's one of the only things that feels like it's not truly authentic in it, right? And that's one of the hardest things I find with it for us in general, is because that's everything else is authentic. And so I completely understood, and I said to her, like, look, recording this little podcast, that's the bit I struggle with the most, is actually doing the fucking intro. Like, once you're going, it's fine as well. So, well, I completely understand.
It's sort of like how with some podcasters, they will, or some podcasters or YouTubers, they will be quite jarring with when they're doing an ad read. They'll either cut to it, or they will do like, hey, doing an ad read, or they do the route of like internet historian and to a degree Willie Mack show, where they sort of incorporate the conversation they're having into the ad read. Like, Willie Mack's so good for that. Like, he'll be discussing some slop, and he's able to relate it to the product he's sponsored by. And then Internet Historian will make like skits for like Shark VPN and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, and internet comment etiquette, he's really good at that too. These funny ads, and you're like, bro, I don't want to skip the ad because the ad's the best part of the video. That's brilliant. I mean, it used to be how I've heard the whole thing. It was like, ads never used to be funny, and then there came a point where everyone, then after a while, like the Super Bowl ads, and everyone tried to be funny, and then ads kind of got boring again because everybody's trying to do the same thing. So
silence, brand.
I can't remember what it was actually advertising back in the day, but we had the dog. We had an ad of a German Shepherd trying to run and jump onto the back of a fucking ute, and then it slips and falls in the mud and goes, bugger. I can't remember what the ad was for, but that was considered back in the day a pretty big deal because, they said bugger on television.
Yeah.
Bugger. Fucking bugger. What do you mean? Bugger's hardly a swear word, mate. Cut it out. But we remember this shit, but hilarious that I don't remember the product, so... Why do I feel like it's like paint or something? I don't fucking know.
Nah, it's probably... Dude, fucking... Lotto has no reason to have such, like... and, like, 1NZ have no reason to have, like, extravagant fucking... mini drama series as their advertising.
Yeah, you get some of them. You try to guess what the ad is partway through. I remember seeing one, and it was like these like people was like these older women as like superheroes, and it's like, what the fuck is this? And it's like, and the woman's like trying to save her like granddaughter or niece or something, and you're like, what the fuck is this? And it's like, hey, get your tits checked for cancer. I'm like, what the fuck? How the fuck? I'd never guess. So I saw the movies with Alex, and I'm like, didn't guess what that was an ad for. Like, what the fuck, dude? Well, Macca's is always like, it's a family outing, and everyone's having a good time, and yeah, we'll get Macca's on the ride home, mate. And you're like, oh, okay, now I see what it is. Some of these ads are fucking hard to guess, man.
I guess, but also maybe we're just sort of a little bit thrown out because we don't watch TV. We watch YouTube and we watch streams.
I got YouTube Premium, so I don't see ads almost ever. I see ads on a Monday night when I go to my mum's place for dinner. That's when I see ads. Or if I go to a rare movie, you know. Fucking ads.
I think it's about time we loop back into our appreciation for Dragon Ball GT. No.
Welcome to the Grand Tour.
So, I gotta be honest. This next one, I remember we've seen it at 2 games fests, Mind's Eye, and first time I saw it, I was just like, this is very underwhelming.
Not the same. You might remember when we talked about it the last time we saw it, and I was like, we weren't impressed by it. And one of the higher ups there, I can't remember if it was, I think it was one of the co-CEOs, was talking about how he's like, people have essentially been paid off to talk shit about our game. Like, essentially what he was saying. And you're like, what? Because I tell you what, I wasn't paid fucking anything. We just didn't think it looked very exciting. We thought it looked underwhelming. There was nothing about it. And I was like, oh, look, I'm not going to write it off, but... And then, sure enough, one of the other higher-ups left like a week before the game came out. And you're like, well, that's not a good sign. And the game came out, and Mind's Eye's an absolute fucking mess. It's a disaster. Some people have bought it just to meme it. Do you know how bad this game is? Sony's like, if you contact us, we'll give you a refund. Like, they've only done that a handful of times. Cyberpunk on PS4 was one of those games. They've only done this a handful of times. They don't give you fucking refunds for anything, which feels like it's breaking consumer law in many countries. But they don't do fucking that almost ever. It's so rare. So the fact that they're offering refunds shows you how dog shit this game is, unfortunately. I don't want games to come out and be crap. You know, it feels bad to say this game is rubbish, but Jesus Christ, that's the game I should have picked a fucking review from. Holy shit. There'll be some wild reviews.
But then even though we are in the age where, like, you know, we will dabble early access games, we'll pay for them because they're cool. We don't really nobody wants like broken and incomplete games. Like, did it just need more time to sit in the oven? Or
I think that looks like the biggest thing with this game. Someone said Leslie Benzies, he was a producer at Rockstar. It's just no wonder Rockstar fired him. Jesus, that's a brutal review. So someone reviewed said a true GTA contender.
I always think, though, the thing is, like, optically, you're always going to come across as, like, soy and weak when you're like, oh, it's getting review bombed, or people are not liking it because of this set group of people. Like, yeah, there will be times where, like, a Steam review will get review bombed and stuff like that. But, you know, every time when someone's just like, there's a bunch of people out there who are smearing this game, it always comes across as, I'm not the problem. I didn't fuck it up. They fucked it up.
Am I out of touch? No, it's the children who are wrong.
Basically. Like,
yeah. And there are times where, you know, I don't think every time that the loud majority is going on about something that they're always correct, but more often than not they are. You know, the game just seems to just doesn't seem to do anything really exceptionally well. You know, on Steam it's 37%, right, in the reviews, so that's real bad, but that's actually not as bad as it was. It was actually worse.
Dude, I remember when after the first big patch for season 2 for Tekken, that is the first time I've seen a Tekken game sit at mostly negative reviews.
And I tell you what, wasn't anywhere near as bad as Mind's Eye.
Damn. Because like you can
not the reviews, but like just in general in terms of the product.
Like when I see a game that's mixed reviews, I don't see it as a red flag. I'm just like, okay, there's probably going to be performance issues, or there's going to be like a majority of like it's not their game style. Like I'll take there was a game called One Piece World Seeker, and that sat at mixed reviews for quite some time. And the thing was, Luffy, the way he moved felt real heavy and clunky for a man who's meant to be like made of rubber, and I was just like, all right, that's fair. But because I was on special and I bought it for $30, it's like, yeah, this game has issues, and I can absolutely understand that why it's mixed reviews, but like I can still look over those issues, so it's not a deal breaker. But when I see a game that's just like sitting at mostly negative, I'm like, dang, what's fucking wrong with this?
Absolutely. Like Tekken 8 now is 54% in the reviews, which is not great. But welcome to Gambling 8, where everyone's got 50-50 moves. Guess right, cool, you're chilling. But guess wrong, hope you brought snacks because you're getting comboed until your future grandkids feel it. Of course, this game is good for your mental health. Damn, that's wild. But yes, I did hear that's a lot of people's problems. Is like it comes down to all these 50-50s, essentially.
I also understand that like one of the other things that well one of the things that wasn't good was everyone got buffed. They decided to like basically make it so everyone can do rush down, and someone nailed it. It's just like they're trying to make a 3D like fighting game play like a 2D fighting game.
Mm.
Like, I get it. My dice sucks, apparently.
Also, there's a review here. This is the Tekken fan base for you, though. Like, review just says Tekken 8, and they have a negative review on it, 2,200 hours. You got 2,200 hours and you're like, game's bad. Then why'd you play it for 2,000 hours, you fucking idiot? Like, I don't think I could ever spend that much time on it. 500 hours, 587 hours, negative review. I'm like, man, if it was that bad, wouldn't you have stopped before, like, maybe after, like, 10 hours or something? I know the game they thought was worse after the balance and stuff. But, jeez, I just can't imagine putting 500 hours of my life into something that I don't think is good.
Do you still wake up in a cold sweat, like, every now and then, thinking about that one king main you came across that had, like, a 1,000 victories?
Yes, and beat my ass on my fucking 30th birthday, I remember.
Happy birthday!
Because we went to, I thought it'd be funny. Everyone talks about, oh, my birthday wasn't very memorable. And I was like, mine's going to be memorable for the worst way, or for the worst reasons, because I'm going to go to Denny's for my 30th. And you know what? Had a great time. Someone suggested afterwards, like, oh, do you want to go to Time Zone? Well, like, yeah, fuck it. So half of us of that group went to Time Zone. Good. So I was like, do we want to play mini golf? And then we lost another half of the people, but half of us went and played mini golf, so a quarter of us. And I had the fucking best time, man. It was like it's like a 12-year-old's birthday party, going to Denny's, going to Time Zone, going to play mini golf. I was like, this is the fucking best. It actually ruled, bro. And yes, I logged on to play Tekken online and lost it. I actually ended up positive. I think I was like 2-1, but that guy had 1,000 wins as king. I'm like, oh, he's beating my ass. I fucking know it. And he did.
But I guess because that was Tekken 7, right?
I think it was, yeah.
I guess that's also a testament to a fighting game where it's just like you can know the ins and outs of your main. You can know what's safe, what's plus on block. You know his strats, and someone can just play your main character in a way that you get destroyed. It's like, we love it in fighting games where people can express, like, it sounds silly, but they can, like, express through gameplay.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, you just got to accept it's like, yeah, this guy was just better than me. It was like, he kicked my ass. So I forgot about that until you mentioned it. I'm like, yeah, all right. I guess we better say Mind's Eye, a third-person shooter.
Mid's Eye.
Yeah, if you like average and broken games, and you like third person, if you want to play a game that feels like the love child of a Sony third person over the shoulder action game and Grand Theft Auto, but really bad, that's the game for you.
At first, when we read it off, I was like, maybe it was because like when we watched, because I think we first saw it at like this last state of play, and it's like maybe like I'm being a little bit too harsh just because we had quite a few standout games, like the Midnight Walk, that really got my attention, and then I was like, oh, it's just another shooter, but damn.
Might have even been at the Game Awards, maybe we're thinking of.
Maybe. Build a rocket, boy? More like build a better game.
I'd be interested to see if they do put the time in, because it sounds like there's another game. This is supposed to be in the same world, but the other game's supposed to be the bigger, more impressive game. So I'd be interested to see, though, maybe they can patch it and make it better. Maybe it is performance and technical issues that's really holding it back, but I don't think it's just that. I think it's just an average game, even if it ran great and looked great and had no issues. It just would be like unremarkable. Which, you know, you could argue the same was Concord before. Maybe it's just unremarkable as well. But Concord didn't have technical issues like this did.
But also, to me, the king of all like gaming redemption arcs will always be the internet historians, like the goodening of No Man's Sky. Like what a bounce back. So
yeah, the other one as well. Sorry, go on.
No, I was basically saying, is like if they can like bounce back and get into a state that it is now, it's just like most video game companies where they just like knuckle down and like iron out kinks and stuff. Is like it's possible. You don't have to just be sat with a shit game.
Yeah, I think Mind's Eye doesn't have the same ceiling as No Man's Sky, though, unfortunately, regardless of how much time they put into it. Like Cyberpunk's the other one that, you know, a bit of a redemption story, but Cyberpunk, when I played it on PC, I was like, this game's really not that bad. Everyone like, the game is broken and terrible, and I was like, it's kind of running okay on it was my old PC as well. I was like, it's running okay over here, but it's still, it was shit as well, and skill trees that didn't work. Like, it was like, oh, there's this one that works for doing something, breathing underwater or something, and there was like no sections where you could do it. Or this one works great when you can grab someone as a human shield, and then you couldn't really do that properly either or something. Okay, but the skill trees are all fixed now. So yeah, it's great that these games, like, because some people are like, it shouldn't just have been released broken in the first place, and yes, it shouldn't have, and then we're rewarding these people for doing what they should have done in the first place. But I still think you do have to celebrate it, because you could just release a broken game and go, it's broken, fuck you, and just not fix it. You could also do that, but them spending the time, it still should be celebrated as well. Just shouldn't be celebrated as much as a studio that puts out a fully functioning game on launch.
Again, we don't want companies or games to like fail. We just want better.
We just want good products. If you're paying, you know, I go to work for fucking 45 hours a week. I don't want to just play some dog shit. You know, I want something that's finished if I'm going to spend my money on it.
100%.
Also, if I'm buying something early access, that's a different story, because you know what you're getting into, right? You buy a game that's early access and you're like, oh, this game's not finished. Yeah, no fucking shit. That's a different story entirely.
Dude, I played Linked, the Banner Spark. I'm pretty sure it was early access. I don't regret it. It was a fucking great game. Yeah, the art style's a bit Fortnite-y, but like great gameplay loop. Has a lot of charm. It's just like, yeah.
Shout out to Orange Justice.
Who?
The dance move from Fortnite that a kid ended up having his dance didn't win, and then people were like, nah, this is the best dance. And they like put Orange Justice, or Orange, whatever it was called, and they called it Orange Justice because it was him getting justice for his shitty little dance. But good, shout out to that kid.
And
sorry for calling it a shitty little dance. I take it back.
Our mate, Alex, he can bust it out really well.
Yeah. Yep. And man, he's an interesting case. So I'll say that. Also, our boy Mulrick is playing that My Time at Sandrock, just so you know.
Hey!
So next stream, mate, if he's there, you should chat to him about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, I love that game. And I can't wait for, I can't... Telling people I'm excited about this, it's like, it's not a guilty pleasure, because I enjoy the My Time games. Like, yep, they are cozy. But it's got a lot of heart, a lot of charm in it. Combat's pretty good and stuff like that. And it's just like, and every time I say it, I'll be like, yeah, I can't wait for My Time at Evershine. And it's like, they think I'm playing a baby game.
Well, if the shoe fits.
They're like, I haven't played that Brant's game.
Yeah. I was just gonna just rip you out and then just move on to the next news.
Nah.
No, everyone likes what they like, mate. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Borderlands 4 is going to be 70 USD and not 80 because Randy Pitchford is a little bitch and dropped nuts. I don't actually know if it's him or if it was actually from Take-Two, but pretty funny him to argue with people on Twitter about this to then just drop it to $70 anyway. So it's pretty funny.
Yeah. Like, I don't know, man. Like, obviously, like, you don't like him, and what the little interactions I've seen on Twitter, it's like, oh, this guy's a little baby, little Randy Bo Bandy, like, what a sook. But saying it's like, if you're a true fan, you'll pay this price. And they
if you're a true fan, you'll figure it out. It's just, like I say, that whole thing came down to, ultimately, really what he was saying, he was kind of right, but he said it in the worst possible way that's so tone deaf that
man
you're
yells
not a
at
true
clouds.
fan if you won't spend $80 on our game. Like his story about I saved up for $80 USD, which back when for a Sega game that's significantly more money in like today's money with inflation. And he was like, he could have told this as a motivational story to be like, look,
yeah,
this is what I did, not like if you're a true fan, you'll figure it out. It was so tone deaf. It's just absolutely ridiculous. So it is funny seeing them drop nuts. I'm still not fucking buying on release though. Fuck you, Randy. I don't give it. I'm never gonna give Gearbox another fucking full price release until he unblocks me on Twitter. If that happens, mate, I'll buy this game day one.
You're just like, every day I will eat a picture of Randy Pitchford till he unblocks me on Twitter.
It would never happen. He would never unblock anyone. He's a coward.
A coward.
He couldn't handle a light joke. Yeah, anyway, this is definitely better for the consumers though. So if you're a Borderlands fan, then 70 USD, better than 80, something, right? Small victories. You bullied a man into it changing, so hey,
pitchforks for Pitchford.
Can't argue with results. I was just saying earlier with that Black Panther one, it's like, hey, I don't want to see anyone bullying it on Twitter, and then I'm like, except Randy Pitchford. No, I'd actually rather not see that. But
do you want to also chuck in a pew pew at Ubisoft? Because I think these have become bits for each stream. Strays at Ubisoft and direct fire at Randy Pitchford.
Dude, I don't even have any strays at Ubisoft. Actually, coming up in a little bit, I've almost got some nice things to say about Ubisoft. So, that'll I'll bring that up real soon anyway. So,
nah, Ubisoft.
Yeah, I am soft. All right.
That's good. That's good.
I've gotten soft in my old age, Stephen. All right.
It's good. No, it's good growth. You gained empathy at age
32, like I done.
32.
Bro, that's crazy to even be like, yeah, I gained empathy in my 30s. Like, bro, are you a psychopath? What the fuck? What's wrong with you? There's children out here that developed empathy, mate. How the fuck are you so stunted?
We literally, like...
Because his dad yelled at him when he was a child. He yelled at him. That's why. It's his dad's fault.
Dude, I think one of the earliest things of empathy, like, we all learned as a kid was just like, you want to smack someone, and it's just like, yeah, but if they smack you, you probably wouldn't feel too good, would you? Like, no.
No.
So that's probably how they would feel if you did it. It's like, true.
Yeah. It's pretty silly, man. So did you see this? Did you hear about this? You heard about this? Seen this? GameStop was at one of the GameStop stores was stapling the fucking receipts on their Switch 2s, and they damaged the screens in a heap of them, bro.
I only heard about them from the post you put in the group chat. I was like, what the fuck? Is this an actual thing?
Look, though, it didn't happen to mine. Hey, whoa. Whoa. So, I guess while we're talking about the Switch 2, I may as well give my impressions. So, it's alright. It's fine. It is an improvement at the end of the day, man. It is a step up in like pretty much every regard. I mean, I didn't have the OLED, so I hear that there are particular things that looked better on the OLED than on this, but it is a fucking big display. It is like a massive display by comparison. The Joy-Cons are a bit bigger, which is nice. I still am going to get some third-party controllers at some point that are going to be bigger again and actually have like a comfortable fucking grip down the side or something, than this rounded off.
Get the brass knuck ones.
Like, look at my hands on this thing. Look at it. It's ridiculous. I got the biggest fucking mitts. I don't have these small
I've felt them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, you know you have.
Yeah.
Boy. He got
right
uppies.
up on my ribs.
He got fucking uppies.
Twice.
And yeah, I know as well. I heard, because I was like, oh, they fixed the kickstand. Instead of that dinky little kickstand, you got a big old kickstand on the back, which is great. Because that's generally how I'm sitting it down when I'm not playing it. I just put out the kickstand. It feels way sturdier. It's way bigger. The SD card also slots in behind there, like on the previous one behind kickstand, so that's cool. Serial number behind kickstand is a great idea as well, so that's just not going to be on the back and then rub off. I remember the first company I remember back in the day doing that was HP would put the serial numbers under the battery when batteries were removable on laptops, and I thought that was really cool because people would bring in at my old job for like a warranty repair, and the serial number was no longer on the machine because it rubbed off the bottom. So.
As someone who works does repair logistics and stuff like that, we love it when we're putting in like the information for troubleshooting. We love it when the serial number is easy to find.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like Xbox, because most people just chuck out the box, their serial number is like in one of the cups.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Interesting.
What do you think, as it is just purely on aesthetic, what do you feel about the minimal color? Like using still the same neon colors, but using them like quite minimalistically, as opposed to the...
I would have preferred a pure black one without the colors on there. When I got my Switch 1, I got the grey Joy-Cons because I didn't want the fucking obnoxious colours.
Because it looks like a Happy Meal?
I'm in the complete minority and not wanting the blue and red controller, right? Or orange, whatever, right?
Because it looks like a Happy Meal?
Yeah, I just don't like that it doesn't have... It's, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not synergy. What am I saying? Symmetry. There we go. Sounds like synergy. Symmetry. I like symmetry. Maybe it's because there's something wrong with my brain, but I just love a bit of symmetry. And they're just... I know as well you're never going to get the true symmetry with like the sticks because the way the sticks are. I also don't mind a set of offset sticks, but it's like the color symmetry. I'd rather it be consistent. It's not so bad with this, right? It's subtle, so I don't mind it. But I would have rather just complete black Joy-Cons with no color on them at all.
Nah, you would have preferred RGB.
So I could set them to just one color? Yes. Speaking of RGB, I'll talk a little bit more about the Switch 2 in a sec, but I also got a new controller. I got an 8-bit Do Ultimate 2 because also, whoa, colors on the sticks. Whoa.
That is sick.
I turn the colors off all the time because I don't need that in my life. This controller also works on the Switch too, but also on Windows. What I love about this controller is it came with a charger, the charger's USB into my PC. The what do you call it? The receiver is at the bottom of the charger, so you can just have one plug for charging it and that. But when I take off the cradle, it was automatically paired to the PC and ready to go. It's on. I don't have to press a power button. It just pick it up and it's like, I'm paired. Let's go. Like, that's fucking awesome.
I have had I've had like one of my mates come in, and he's looking for a Nintendo controller, and I've pointed him towards like 8-bit Do. I was like, no, these are good. I'd say these are better than like whatever PowerWave third parties ones. Like, get this.
And they were using Hall Effect sticks, but this one's using what I read it was like TRM, which is essentially the next step from Hall Effect, so it also doesn't drift. And this is the reason I got one of these controllers, is that I'll grab the controller actually. I love this controller. It's the 20th anniversary Xbox One controller, and I think this controller looks fucking awesome. I think this is a great looking controller.
That's pretty sick.
I love the green isn't all in your face, it's on the back, right? And I do like the black buttons. It's got a bit of a see-through vibe, and then it's got, I believe somewhere it says like 20, something like that. But it's a good looking controller, but I got stick drift on it, and it fucks me off because the 20-year anniversary wasn't that long ago, and I was like, hell nah, I'm never buying one of these fucking. I'm not going to buy another Xbox controller until they get Hall Effect or TRM sticks. I'm just not. I'm not going to do it. So that's why I got the 8-bit Do, and it took me a little. I love the Xbox controller feel more than anything. Fuck, if I'm showing off controllers, I'll fucking. my favorite controller aesthetically.
Yeah.
The PS5 anniversary controller. This shit fucking rules, man. This shit's so cool. I've moved into the office because my other PS5 controllers, the sticks are getting damaged, and I was talking to Alex about what do you think it could be? And we think it's actually just too much sun exposure, because I've got a nice sunny lounge, it sees a lot of sun, and we just think it's just the sticks just getting cooked in the sun over time and getting damaged. So I'm like, I'm moving that out of the fucking lounge.
Do you feel you missed out on getting the Astrobot controller?
They're bringing one back.
Are you going to get one? Because it does look kind of cool. It does. I think it's like aesthetically, it looks pretty cool with like the eyes on the trackpad.
Yeah, I might get one because I love Astrobot. I just couldn't justify that.
Not enough for a controller, apparently.
Yeah, I already spent $100 on the game. And then I got the ROG Ally as well. Reflection, look, it's you. Do you see you?
It is me.
Which hasn't been getting as much use as of late, but
I always liked.
I like it.
People would always go for like they'd be saving up for a Steam Deck, but I personally like, at least from a design aspect, I always preferred the ROG because it kind of looks like what someone who traveled into the future and then was just like, yeah, this is what Nintendo Switches look like in the future.
Future!
Everything's chrome!
Yeah. So I got a lot of shit around my desk that I probably don't need. But, yeah, so the software anyway, Switch 2, is very much the same as it was on... Dude, that's a lot of Marios. Very much the same as it was on the Switch 1, but I don't have a problem with that. It actually worked pretty well as an interface. I quite enjoy it. I've been playing a few games on here. I've been playing Mario Kart World. So I just want to say that I do think Mario Kart World is a good game. But people are talking about this like it's the second coming of Christ. This game is good. I would give it like an 8 out of 10.
You would play it when the boys are around.
Yeah, I don't think it's this truly exceptional game, and it's got some great movement tech and stuff in it. Like, it is... They have done a really good job of that kind of stuff. It's like, But it's people. I don't know, man. People are just acting like this game is the most amazing thing ever, and I was like, I think the tracks are worse than they were in 8. I think that they took the car customization out, and I'm like, I don't really care about that. That's fine, but it's got to me worse tracks, but it's got better. The racing feels better. It's got better movement. The grinding's cool. The way that you can jump onto walls and things like that. If you were like, so there is higher skill expression, but it's fine. It's still not, to me, it's still not as good as Crash Team Racing. Like, they're like, yeah, but this is open world part. You just drive around and do fuck all. Like, you go around, you hit P switches, and they give you challenges to do, and you collect little food bags from restaurants. They unlock your skins. It's like,
isn't there a finicky way of unlocking characters? Like, I like the idea of bringing back unlocking characters, but like, how do you do it in Mario Kart?
So in your races, like if you're playing Mario, for example, and you get one of these little food bags from these restaurants, little takeaway bags, it can give you an item that'll give you speed boost. That can also give you a new skin for that character you're playing. And then I think there's an item, I've only had it once, where is it Kamek, the little wizard witch on the broomstick, use that and Kamek will fly along and your character goes and then you'll become a different character, and that's how you unlock them for the moment, and then it will change everyone back. So there's
the
RNG
unlocking. Yeah.
RNG as well, so there's that and the food bag things. The game's alright. I've heard that people are calling it like almost battle royale kind of race mode, where after each lap, like 4 people drop out, like 4 people get knocked out. I'm like, that's a cool idea, but I'm not really looking to play this online. Like saying before, I think Crash Team Racing is still the better game because it's got, I mean, until this one, probably better movement tech than all other Mario Karts until World. Yeah, it is. I was just checking. Is it World? It is World.
I also like again from a design aspect. So yeah, I can agree that the little stand in the original Switch was so pinner and like flimsy that I never ever had my Switch propped up like that. It was always docked or not. But I also like the fact with the stand. I like the fact that the way that you had your hand threaded through is just like, I'm never gonna drop this.
Yeah. Yeah, I think design wise it's a big step up in the hardware perspective. It feels good, it feels premium. Yeah, I guess it's just as well, like people say, it's fairly unexciting, the Switch 2. And I don't think that's such a bad thing. It's now the fastest selling console launch of all time, partly because Nintendo made sure they had a shitload of stock because they delayed it for ages. But yeah, Mario Kart, like I say, I know comparison to Crash Team Racing, but Crash Team Racing's got so much good single player content as well in terms of the entire campaign. And this, you just don't have that kind of single player content. If you're someone who just purely wants to play online, this is probably the better game. But I don't want to. I don't play Switch games online pretty much. I want the single player. This is what Nintendo's really good at. And yes, they make Smash and they make obviously now Mario Kart and all this. But I play Nintendo for the single player experience. I don't play their games for any of the online experience pretty much at all. I say that as Duskbloods is coming out next year and it's my most anticipated game, and I'm going to be playing it online. But if it was on another platform that's not the Switch, I'd be playing it there. So, but yeah, so what's the best thing about the Switch 2 is that it plays Switch 1 games better. So the Switch 1 games that ran like shit now run well on the Switch 2. And that's actually the best feature. So this isn't a game that ran badly at all, but I just didn't end up finishing it, and this is where the Ubisoft shout out comes in. Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle. So this is like
XCOM.
Baby's first XCOM, and it's legitimately really good, and it's kind of challenging in moments too. But the game's actually good. It's a solid game. So I've been playing that again recently too, and that's a lot of fun. So, like I say, it is literally Mario and Rabbids XCOM, and you get little rabbit characters that you've got Rabbid Mario and Rabbid Peach and stuff, and they look fucking silly. They're these dumbass little rabbits with their hats on, but like, oh, I'm Luigi. But it's not Luigi. It's a rabbit.
The rabbits basically look like cracked out rabbits had a baby with Homer Simpson.
Don't.
Or an Ariel monster.
Yeah, that is kind of the vibe. But I like it. It is actually a very good game, and Ubisoft actually did really well with this. It's a shame that we're getting more Rabid stuff than we are Rayman, but look, here we are. But those are really the last game was the Switch Welcome Tour, which it shouldn't have been $15. I'll tell you that much. it's
Do you reckon because of Switch 2 you'll finally dabble Astral Chain?
I think so, but I'm waiting for a sale, which I want to see what's on sale. I added it to my wish list. Also, the store does not run like absolute shit, and that's great. I know that's another one of these things of being like, oh wow, this is something that shouldn't have been a problem in the first place, but it is nice that the store works as it should now. So I am very pleased with that. So overall, like I say, if you want the Switch 1 but good, yeah, here it is. Get the Switch 2. That's it. Just does everything the Switch 1 does, but better. It's bigger. It's faster. I think the battery life people were saying is a little worse, but my Switch is 7-8 years old, so the battery life's absolutely fucking shot on it anyway. So it's definitely not worse than that. I've been playing Mario Kart in bed, and it's just it's good for that.
I'll definitely be getting a Switch 2, especially like the whole playing Switch games, but better. But to me, there aren't enough first-party titles, or there hasn't been that big first-party title that's made me want to take the dive and grab it. Like, I am eyeing up Donkey Kong, but
Donkey Kong looks fucking awesome, to be honest.
It does, and I look forward to hearing your thoughts on it when it comes out next month.
Yeah, I think I'll probably day one it, to be honest, because it looks really good. This is something that, as well, I to me, so many people like Mario Kart makes sense being the system seller, and yeah, when you look at the numbers of what sold on Switch 1, Mario Kart does make sense from that perspective, but my problem is Mario Kart's a game that just doesn't wow me. It's a little kart racer. It just doesn't blow me away. It just doesn't feel like the marquee title, you know? This Donkey Kong game does look like that. I bought the Switch because I was like, I'm not going to get Breath of the Wild on the Wii U, which I also owned, because I'm the fucking worst. I had money to burn at the time. I was like, I'm going to get a Wii U, fuck it. But didn't get as much use as I would have liked, you know? My bad. But yes, it's Breath of the Wild blew me away with how fucking good that game was and how original. Like, it just felt like, wow, I haven't played an open world game quite like this, and just the only time I felt like that since as well was Elden Ring. I don't even like. Okay, I like open world games, but I'm super picky. Like, I probably don't like 95% of open world games. I'm just not interested. Like, oh, here's a bland fucking world with nothing for you to explore. Go enjoy. It's a bunch of boring shit. I'm like, yay! And then Breath of the Wild, yes, it was actually kind of empty in parts, but it kind of felt nice. There's parts that feel kind of relaxing, and there's all the fucking little temples.
Cozy
stuff. Oh, man, Breath of the Wild was so good. I haven't played Tears in the Condom yet, as Stephen would call it. But I will play it on the Switch too. That's the plan.
Hell yeah.
I was just like, I ain't playing this on the Switch. I was like, I'm not doing it. This game runs like fucking dog shit. I'm not doing that.
Hell
but
yeah.
yes, Switch 2, Switch 1 but better, and that's okay. So, what are we playing? Once again, I was playing Mario Kart World offline. I've talked enough about that, I think. I've been playing a lot of Elden Ring Nightreign. I've been playing the fuck out of this game. And I feel like when we do our Game of the Year awards, I feel like we need multiple. But I think we need almost two categories for what our Game of the Year is. I think we need an objective and subjective Game of the Year. because Expedition 33 is truly an exceptional game, and I believe deserves Game of the Year. And I think it is a better game than Elden Ring Nightreign. But my subjective Game of the Year so far is Elden Ring Nightreign. I fucking love this game, man. It is very Lewis coded though. Like it is, like so. When you start the game, you've got 6 characters, and it's not really a spoiler. They showed there were 8 characters in the game. You got to unlock 2 of them, which you can do pretty easily. And you've got these Night Lords to beat. I've realised I'm like, how many fucking Night Lords are there? So there's, I'm just gonna look that up just so I have the number. How many Night Lords and Nightreign? Overall, we've got 8. Right, so you start off with 1, you beat it, and then you unlock more, and you slowly, and then it goes. At some point, it goes, yeah, here's all of them, bar the last one, essentially. So you then end up having these 8 Night Lords to verse, and each time you queue up and go, okay, we're gonna fight Gaping Jaw, I think its name is. Hey, sexy. And it tells you what its weakness is. So this one's weakness is poison. So you want to get a poison weapon because in your run, you might get unlucky. And the game is like, sorry, you didn't actually find a camp where there's any poison weapons at all on the map. So you're like, fuck. So it kind of Fortnite drops you like a battle bus, right? You're like, cool. You select your dudes, you fly out, and then you drop where... Fortnite, you get a little more choice of where you drop out, but this is like, you guys are going to drop right here. You're like, okay, cool. So before you drop, you look at the map, and you say, okay, these are the camps we want to hit. You want to be generally playing with people you know, because the game's significantly harder playing with randoms, because some of them are just fucking useless. Oh my lord. I've been carried, I think, twice, but I've been let down so many times by randoms. It's crazy. So... yeah, you go around, the first thing you want to do, you want to hit level 2 before you hit a big camp, because you get, the health difference is massive. So you go kill some plebs, you go to level up, which in traditional, like Elden Ring, you pick all your stats. This game is just like, you go to your Sites of Grace and go, hey, level me up, dog, and it will just press the A button, and it will just go, cool, 1 level, and it allocates the stats automatically for whatever class you're playing, right? I realise I should have opened with the classes more, but, you know, here we are. So, I'll give you a little introduction of at least the classes. I've been trying to... There's these remembrances, so you got to do certain things to unlock skins and unlock these relics and stuff, because each run you do, win or lose, unless you quit, you'll get relics, right? This is very much a roguelite element. That's like... It's like, oh, here's your relics. This will make you very, very much slightly stronger. Just a little bit. Just a tiny little bit stronger. So you got to get some good relics as you go. Right. So there's like a character who's a birdman, who's defensive and has an ability where he can make a little whirlwind and knock enemies up. And then he's got a move where he can like dive in, and if your allies are downed, it'll automatically revive them. And if you hold it down, it'll make your allies... I think it's like a massive defense buff or invulnerability for a few seconds, and it uses all your meter, right? So that dude's alright. He's a tank. I like playing the Raider, who can dual wield like giant hammers or colossal weapons, or if you get a good shield, you can just become also a fucking massive tank, which is awesome. And his moves are, one of them, you'll tank a bunch of damage. You'll be evilly reduced, and if you get hit with it, you'll retaliate with way more damage and a lot of knockdown. He's got his other move, his ultimate is called Totem Stellar, and it's this giant fucking totem that just comes out of the ground. He just yells, and it's this big brick that just goes and fucks the enemy up. And sometimes they can get stuck in it, so that's really fun and actually really detrimental to your team. And he just uses big weapons and just fucks dudes up. Right. So anyway, back to when I accidentally got too ahead of myself. So you got 8 characters, all completely unique, have unique weapons that they want to use as well, right? So anyway, what I was saying, you want to go take these camps out. So you want to start off. There's There's usually a big castle in like the middle of the map, but you're not strong enough to take that on early, so you want to go around and beat these camps, and then eventually the circle will be like, oh, circle's coming in, and it will just get a little smaller, and then you look at the map and go, okay, where can we go? So you want to hit churches on your way through, because they will give you more heals, more good, and then take more camps. And then the circle will go again. Oh, it's getting smaller, and then it will show you like an Erd tree on the map, and you run over to there, and then you'll fight the Night 1 boss. So before you fight the Night 1 boss, there will always be some somewhat unique enemies there you have to fight first, and then the boss will spawn, which can be some of them. Most of the bosses in this are from the other games. I think actually all of the bosses for Night 1 and Night 2 are previous like FromSoft ones. Some from Dark Souls 1. Some from 3, some. Why did I do it 3, 1, 3, 2? Don't worry about it. Some from 2, and Elden Ring. Right, so there's a heap of bosses just from some previous games. So first time fighting the Gaping Dragon, I was like I recognize this music, and goes, oh fuck, it's the Gaping Dragon from Dark Souls 1. You can cut its tail off like you can in Dark Souls 1 as well. It's fucking awesome. Peak gameplay. So you beat the Night 1 boss, the map then opens up again, and you're like, cool, where are we going now, boys? So generally day 2, me and the boys are like, we're going to the castle, because the castle is just a great place to get good shit. You get some good money, so you often go there, but otherwise there's these shifting earth events, right? So one of them is a volcano, one of them's a city you go to, which is like Noctrun and Elden Ring. I wish I could remember what all these ones were. One of them's a mountain you got to get to the top of to get a buff to protect you against freeze, which is probably the worst one, people say. And I did the volcano one kind of just earlier today, which I hadn't done before. I actually did about 10 minutes before Stephen and I got on comms. I got the last achievement. I finally got it because I had to get that one. It was technically my last 3 because I had to find the secret in the crater. And then they also gave me find the secrets of the shifting earth locations. And then they gave me Nightreign, all achievements. So felt good to
game.
To get them all done. Oh man, Ruben beat me to it. He got it yesterday, that motherfucker. He's put more hours in though. Fuck him. So anyway, Elden Ring Nightreign. Then so essentially you want to go through one of these shifting earth events to get the buff at the end, or go to the castle. Maybe you're really good and you can do both, but I don't think I'd have enough time to do both. There's also these random raids where around the map where sometimes it'll be one of the bosses, I think his name's Augur, where this bubble will appear and you can get stuck up in the bubble and have like a boss fight and get a unique buff from it. Or the Fell Omen will try to fucking hunt you down. And whatever reason, every time I played, it's always like, it'll target one of your teammates. It's always me. It's like, you cunt, you're fucking mine. I'm in the middle of a mine, right? So you can get smithing stones from there to level up your weapons. And we're in the middle of a mine, and I get this marker on me, and I'm like, oh fuck, and this boss spawns in, and we have to fight him in these narrow caverns. Very tense, but very hype. So there's those raids as well. So anyway, once you get to the end of day 2, once you get circles coming in, you then fight the Night 2 boss, which could be, once again, Dark Souls 1, 2, 3, or Elden Ring, like previous boss fight. And then you get to Night 3, which is not the same. That's just, it'll warp you to an area where you can go buy some items and level up. And then there's immediately just the Night Lord that you selected at the start to say you'll fight in this particular night. And then it's they're all unique boss fights, all 8 of them, all new. And you fight essentially the super boss. You and the 2 homies, or if you're playing solo, if you're a madman, which that win I got before was a solo win. So pretty about me, baby. Fucking Jamin, just all in a day's work. Yeah, so then you fight essentially the super boss, and if you win, great, you can progress some remembrances and so on for these characters if you got them selected. And you'll get better loot for doing it, better relics, stuff like that. So just being, I realised as well, so I kept saying roguelike when I've been talking about this to you when we have been recording, but really it's like roguelite. It's not a full roguelike, but roguelite with Elden Ring stuff. I'm like, bro, this is my shit. This is absolutely just what I want.
It just needs golf to complete it.
I think so too. So yes, I've beaten all the Night Lords. I've got I think one remembrance left to do. Is that with probably my least favourite character? The one I use a little dagger. I'm like, oh, that sucks, bro. I don't want to use a dagger. I've started being a madman and just dual wielding with most of the characters except the big bird man. So I'm like, may as well just fucking dual wield, you know? It's pretty sick. So I'm not playing. I'm usually quite a defensive player, and I'm just all offense in this because it just feels better to be all offense, to be honest.
Plus, I imagine you've got like your homies to like fill in different roles. So
Yeah,
you don't
exactly,
have to...
and take aggro and stuff as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, this has come out. It hasn't been out that long. I put 57 hours into this game. It's
only been out for like a week.
It's been out longer than that, mate. It's been out for like 3 weeks, okay? How dare you? I want to check now. Nightreign. When did it come out? 30th of May. All right. It's been out 3 weeks. How dare you? It's still a lot of time. That's the most time I put into a game in some time, really.
I just want to see what this bird class looks like.
The Birdman. The power to bird.
The power to bird. Oh yeah. Sort of looks like he kind of looks like he's from Soul Calibur.
Does have a bit of that vibe. Is published by Bandai Namco, whatever way it's around now. I think it's Bandai Namco now, isn't it?
Bandai Namco, yeah.
So yeah,
or Bamco.
Bamco. A little bit of Bamco. But
what?
I really enjoy this game, man. It's just good shit.
It's very U-coded.
Yeah, absolutely. I understand. Also, it was in mixed reviews at one stage. I think it's now up to 80%.
Hell yeah.
A lot of the FromSoft audience, they didn't 80%. They were like, we don't like this. This is not what we want, because very like single player focused kind of people for the most part, right?
Shut-ins.
Yeah, I get that. I'm one of them. But it's just so good, man. And I know as well, it's like asset flip is a dirty term, but the Japanese game devs are doing these asset flips so well, right? They just use their assets. I can't imagine this game cost them an obscene amount to make either, because they had all the assets there ready to go. Well, not all of them, but probably 90% of it ready to go.
Would Majora's Mask be counted as an assets flip?
Honestly, by the definition of an asset flip, I would say yes. Like, it mostly was assets and, things that were existing. Because it was interesting, because it was supposed to be a full sequel, and then they were like, no, we're going to do something else, and it was a smaller team working on it, and it ended up being massively successful. So, I think asset flip, because it has such a bad, like, people, it's not an asset flip because that's a bad thing. It's like, it technically is, but I think we need to take the word back,
You could almost view it as getting more mileage over already established, like, stuff.
Yeah, and what Yakuza does for a lot of the stuff, you could say, maybe it's asset flip, but it's still a new game, it's still new ideas, it's just they've used a lot of the same assets, so they haven't had to remake everything.
Because that would be so time-consuming.
Yeah, exactly. So, I love this game. It's been nice. One of my mates has been going through some shit recently, so it's been nice to boot up a game with him as well, and one of our other mates, and just have a good time, just vibe out.
Nightreign and open up with the boys.
Look, he doesn't really open up much. But we try, We'll be there. We'll hang out, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Good. So, yeah, highly recommend for anyone who likes Souls-likes or roguelikes, except Scriptlet. Don't worry about it, mate. He likes the rogues, doesn't like the rings.
Rogue rings.
Yeah, but I think they've done a great job. There's things I think they can do better as well in it, but we'll see what they do. It's not a type of game like we'll have to see what they do to support it. They've actually just said they've announced that there were going to be versions of the same boss fights that were already existing in the game on crack. Essentially, these super buffed bosses, and it looks like they've just launched the first one today. So I'll have a go on that later.
I also think because like some people like you can view it as an acid flip, but I also think that's like almost like a wee little bit of a love letter to fans, like having bosses from like the first Dark Souls all the way up to Elden Ring. It's like it's not quite member berries, but it's just like, do you remember fucking chucking your controller at this fucking boss when you were younger? Well, he's back.
Yeah. He's back in Pog form.
Any Demon Souls bosses?
No Demon Souls. No Sekiro. No Bloodborne. I think that two of those are owned by... Two of those are Sony IPs, technically. So I think it's more difficult. Demon Souls and Bloodborne. Activision's got some rights for Sekiro, but I think they just had publishing rights, but Sekiro bosses just wouldn't work in it because it's all about parrying and deflecting and then breaking their like posture bar. So it wouldn't really work. But I had the Nameless King from Dark Souls 3, which is a fucking awesome boss fight. It's so cool to see that fight. I love that shit, man. Yeah, you're right. It's got a bit of a like love letter vibe for the fans who've been there for a long time.
Yeah, I think that's cool.
It's just good shit, man. And what have you been playing?
So the first one I'll just go briefly on. I've been doing like a solo run in Baldur's Gate because of one of the new subclasses, the Hexblade Warlock, which is dope because Warlocks, their main damage their main stat is charisma, and like they don't have a lot of spells as much as like sorcerers or wizards and stuff. So when I first played Warlock, it would basically just rely on a little bolt attack called Eldritch Blast. But with the new patch, with the new subclass Hexblade Warlock, the strat is you have a move called Shadow Blade, which casts like a Shadow Blade, and then you use your class ability to bind it to you, and then when you attack, instead of the damage scoring off your strength attribute, it goes off your charisma, so you're just fucking cunts up. Unless they're immune to psychic damage, then you do nothing. But yes, I'm quite enjoying the new subclass. But what I do want to talk to you about is, as you've seen, I've put into 200 hours into Street Fighter.
Yeah.
And when we had the initial lineup for what season 2 was, I was like, first one, Bison. I was like, yeah, cool. Fighting game stories, unless it's like Mortal Kombat, don't mean anything. Like he died at the end of Street Fighter 5 when they had their first. Oh, sorry, their first cinematic story mode. He's season 2 character. I was like, that's cool. Then we get Terry. I was like, that's mean. Then I got Mai, who took me by surprise. She was quite fun. But when I saw that Elena was announced, I was like, it's good that we're getting some Street Fighter 3 representation. But I was like, oh, she was in 4. I didn't care for the fact that she could heal. But damn, she's actually so fun. She has so many moves that like I can launch off and then just drive rush into to continue the combo. Yeah, I'm always like still a Luke main, but definitely like a secondary main is Elena, and that will change. I'll probably drop both of them when we get Alex for season 3. But nah, Elena at first I thought it was like, yeah, we're finally going to book in season 2, but now I was pleasantly surprised, and she's so fun to play as.
Can't believe you're a Zuma Shoto main, mate.
Yeah, same. But dude, friggin'
I get it. I liked playing Luke as well when we played. We were both having we had some Luke v Luke matches. It was always a good time.
dude, Ryu's also been getting buffed because it was
Isn't it
real
pronounced
funny.
Ryu?
Nope.
Uh,
I remember saying to two interactions with one of my workmates that I sometimes do some sets in Street Fighter 6. Ryu got another buff this season, so he's going up on the tier list. But I remember one of his last buffs was, oh, they buffed his combo of crouching medium kick to heavy Hadouken, and he goes, wow, you mean like the 1-2 combo that everyone has been spamming since day one? That is so cool. He wasn't impressed. But same mate was like, oh, do you wanna do some sets sometime? I was like, yeah, man, I wanna test out my Elena against like someone. He's like, yeah, I'm also gonna get my mate to jump in to do some sets with them. Yeah, it's like, oh, is he the one of the guys who's like one of the best Potemkin mains and Guilty Gear Strive? He's like, yeah, it's like, oh, I'm not gonna be online that day. Sorry, I'm busy.
yeah,
Nah.
I kind of get
I'll
that as
learn.
well. Like, I generally want to verse someone who's better just to be like, where do I stack up? But I also I don't want to be completely demoralized either.
Yeah. I want to learn some new tricks. I do want to get better, but
You were the most chill. Like, I swear, it's such a big compliment to Steven. Like, when we were playing Tekken, and I was just, I was having my way with him.
yeah.
And we got to the end, and Steven's like, thanks, man, that was really good. I learned so much. And it was just, you were not bothered at all. You were not worried in the slightest. You were just like, man, I learned heaps just playing it. And it was, you go into it, there's no ego, there's no like, you just like, yeah, man, I'm here to have a good time and here to learn. And yeah, it's great. Like, I think I was similar when we played Street Fighter, but I'm definitely not as like, I wasn't like upset I lost, but I was like, I'm not as cool with it as you are. You're just you're so chill. It's just the best. There's no ego there at all. It's insane. It's awesome.
Because in my mind, it's like, it's not, and obviously you were not at all being cheap. You were playing the game the way it's meant to be. But the way I see it is like, when I lose, it's like, I'm not losing because someone's being cheap. I'm losing because I'm not adapting to how they're playing. Like, yeah, I've got like an offense mapped out in my head, but you know, like defense, like it goes out the window. Like so many times I'll be like, yeah, I've been practicing this combo route with Luke. I know how to get into it, but then it's be like, I'll fight like a Jamie main, and I'll get floored. And it's just like, all right, I know what I want to do when I want to get close, but I couldn't get close, and also I got outplayed. Simple as that. I also like the fact that, like, with one of the updates for Street Fighter 6 is, you can replay your losses, and you can like basically pinpoint where you went wrong.
That's right. That's really cool. I think Tekken's got that as well. Like, but you can put yourself back into a situation to be like, how can I counter this, or how do I block this, or what do I do when an opponent does this? And it's super cool stuff. Like, it's really awesome.
And the other thing that I really, really like is, it's like, oh, Reddit alert! But, there'll be, because I go on the fighting game subreddit, and the Street Fighter one, and someone will be like, this character's fucking busted, you know, and they'll upload a video, be like, nah, this person's cheap. And people will be like, your fundamentals suck. Like, you got, like, be mad. You got outplayed by, like, a better skilled person. So that's why when I lose, like, even, like, in a game of Tekken, that's, like, not my bread and butter. It's like, when I'm losing, it's just like, yeah, but I'm still learning. It's, I mean, yeah, it feels better to win, obviously, but, like, it's not a, oh, I'm not getting anything out of this. I'm getting like an infinity combo. I better go put on some toast and put the controller down. It's like, all right, I can see where I went wrong. But I also know that it's like one thing I learned when we were playing Tekken is just like, okay, he's playing King. There's a high chance he's gonna bust out the stagger kicks, and
Yeah.
if I don't block this, he gets an extra hit.
It's like Kazuya with that jumping spin kick, and it's just such a noob trap. Like it just anyone who's like, I would say anyone who's at least medium level is going to be like, okay, I can like low parry, I can low parry this or block this and punish you afterwards. But if you were like below that level, you might block the first one and then get hit by the lows and then the final one, and it's just one of those things that I like to throw those ones out because they will get you sometimes, man, when you don't expect them. They're just a noob trap. If you're not locked in, and they'll get you. And you don't want to spam them. You don't want to be that guy, but you gotta. If you do nothing to stop them, unfortunately, it's your fault. It just is. Like, it's there is that kind of stuff. Like I remember years ago when we were playing Street Fighter, when I was trying to learn it. And you're just spamming fucking fireballs at me, and I'm like, it's cheap. Oh. You're like, nah, I'm zoning.
I'm controlling the space.
The more I played Street Fighter, the more I'm like, oh yeah, I only hated that because I was too bad to be able to actually jump over them in time and actually do something. Because if you're good, you're not going to just get zoned like that. You're going to find a way to get through, either parrying them at the right time, or jumping them, or like using something. That if you've got a character that can kind of phase through them or whatever, yeah, it's just a skill issue. Like ultimately, as much as people, it's cheap. No, it's only cheap because you're bad, and that's why it was cheap to me because I was fucking bad. Straight up, that's how it is.
That's why I also learned, like, because I was sick of eating fireballs, especially with like someone like Ryu, who like their big thing is like the 3 different punch buttons. They can fire it off at, like, they can alternate speeds essentially. As I'll be like, okay, and it's what we learned from that fighting game night. I was like, okay, not just try to jump in because he's spamming me to make me approach him, and then he's gonna spam at a distance like mid screen so I can jump, try to get in, and he's gonna anti-air me. That's why I learnt the joys of a good old neutral jump, then advance.
Yeah.
He's spamming you because he either wants you to die from fireballs, or he's getting you to wanting you to approach him.
Exactly. I like to sometimes, when I play Street Fighter, use fireballs and then approach. Right?
Yeah.
I actually like that quite a lot. If someone's kind of playing defensively, you fireball, then you dash in a little, then fireball, dash in. Like if I want to be up close, it's good. Man, something about Street Fighter 6 though, I could not beat a JP main to save my fucking life when I played online. I don't know what it was about JP. I was like, this motherfucker's so tricky to me, and he would just do his fucking annoying kind of portal shit at distance, and then I would get close, and then he would just fuck my day up, and I'm like, what do I fucking do?
Dude, it's real funny. I remember, like, being, like, Luke main. 9 times out of 10, every person I've fought, they'll do the courtesy thing of best of 3. Which I love. Because you can just have that fluke first. I won't say fluke, but like first set, you're like, I get a feeling for how this person plays and how impressive their gameplay can be. But if you do best out of 3, you've learnt more of their playstyle being offensively defensively than you would in just one set. I beat a JP main in one set. He doesn't want a rematch. And I was like, bitch.
Yeah, fuck JP mains.
Because I just got into his face and just
To
But
be
it's
fair,
also
sometimes you get the beat down so bad, you're just like, oh, you get the beat down so bad you don't learn anything. There's a level to it as well. Like, if you get too beaten, like, if you get absolutely destroyed, if they're like, if someone's one level above you, kind of deal, sure, you're probably going to learn quite a bit from it. But if someone's like 2-3 levels above you, you might learn fucking nothing. Like, and I've had some of those games and I'm like, yeah, I'm not running that one back, mate. There's no world in which I beat you right now.
I gotta say something that's real satisfying is Luke's projectile, the sandblast.
Yeah.
If you do the EX version, on the odd occasion, your opponent will forget that you can launch a secondary shot. And I love it. It's like, block or parry the first one, and then they get clipped by the second one. And I was just like, yes.
Hell yeah, brother.
But yes, no, I love me some Street Fighter. I'm grey zone. Like, I'm all right amongst the mates, but like against someone who like knows how to play it properly, it's like I do struggle, but I also learn. So it's cool.
That's where I'm with Tekken as well. I'm better than all my mates, and then I'm get wrecked against people who are really good. So we've got one mate, Hamish, and we're probably like 60-40. He's probably my best match. I'm in the 60%, but it's pretty close. We've got a good rivalry, and it was so funny when Tekken 8 came out. And we started playing, and it was so funny. We hadn't played in years, and we're like, oh man, he plays exactly the same, and I play exactly the same. It was so good. Like, we could see immediately, like, the old habits coming back out. And we're like, oh, this fucking rules, man. I was so happy when Tekken 8 came out just to have that. I used to play a lot of Tekken Tag 2 at his house back in the day. So it was so nice to be
Great
like,
game.
oh man. Underrated gem, Tekken Tag 2. Bring back Jinpachi.
Bring back Kunimitsu. Again.
We can leave her behind.
Nope. Hell, bring back Michelle where you're at it.
Hey.
In fact,
the most unremarkable character.
I mean, I'd play her over Julia. Actually, bring back Ancient Ogre. I know his arc's over, but bring him back.
Bring him back. I like him.
I like Ancient.
Bring back True Ogre as well. Why not?
Ancient Ogre was one of my mains in Tekken Tag 2.
Yeah, he's got a wee hunting hawk as well, mate.
And he's got the he's got old mate Bruce Irvin's bazooka foot.
That's right, because he's just got rip-off moves of a bunch of people, eh?
Yeah.
But it's still cool. It's still cool that they combine them together into one moveset.
Yeah. And pretty sure I want to say that he had a couple of original moves in Tekken Tag 2, but I also like the fact of with Ogre, it's just like, oh yeah, because of the story, this takes place X amount of times in the future. It's like, there's a lot of characters that aren't in it, but this guy has their moves.
Yeah. Like, that'd be cool if this guy was in. Oh, well, I guess I'll play him instead. So relive the glory days.
Hell yeah. Fighting games are fun.
So
apart from the ones that are not good.
Yeah. And there's a lot of those. The next thing is Smash or Game Pass, but there's one more thing I wanted to talk about, but I forgot to add it to the doc, but I saved the photo to my phone. If only I could find it. If only we could fly. Oh man, I can't see it. I saved it, but sometimes Android's like, nah, that's just not going to appear in there. Go Game Pass. There's they showed some new games that are coming to Game Pass that I wanted to talk about real quickly. But I can't see them there. If I can't find it real quick, then we will.
Oh, it wouldn't be on the coming to Game Pass section on Game Pass?
Nah, it's not there yet. I don't think it's only very recent. Regardless, there is some cool shit that's just come out as well on there. Crash 4, which I liked. It was a good return to form for Crash Bandicoot. They just made it. I think one of the things they thought was like everyone liked that Crash Bandicoot was like really hard, right? Like really like difficult to get the. It's like no. So they'd hide like a box just off screen at the end of a level, so you just miss one box and shit like that. And oh, this one you've got to jump on these particular platforms in a certain order to get this gem. Like it was just weird shit like that. So it was just stuff that they didn't have to do. But overall, it was still a really good game.
And really witty title.
It's about time. Oh, it's got time travel. Oh, and it's time they released the fucking sequel.
Oh, toys for Bob. Who the fuck is Bob?
What's the deal with Bob? The Alters is released. That looks interesting. I've told our boy Scriplet, I'm like, hey, it looks like a Chris game. You should play that, mate. It looks like a colony builder where you're using a bunch of your alters, your clones and stuff. I'm hearing apparently the writing in it, people are saying is amazing. FBC Firebreak, which is not getting good reviews, but 3-player multiplayer first-person shooter. It actually looks like a bit of fun, so I'm looking forward to playing that. And a game that I've been playing, was playing until Elden Ring Nightreign came out, so it has been probably 3 weeks since I played it. It's okay. I've been playing Monster Train 2.
Hey.
And I was enjoying Monster Train 2. I've had a few runs that have gone all the way to the end. I'm not going to go as in-depth on this because it has been weeks and I know I'm going to miss a lot of things. But if you played Monster Train 1, it's a sequel to Monster Train 1, believe it or not. There's something about this art style that I'm unsure of. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's something about it there's things I like and there's things that I don't with this art style.
Smug aura?
That's it. It's got a smug aura. It mocks me. No, but the game's cool, man. It's a roguelike kind of a deck builder. That kind of cards, kind of not. But you got 3 floors, well, technically 4 floors on your train, but only 3 you can put stuff on. So you have like a champion. So at the start as well, you pick your main race, and then you pick kind of your sub race that you'll get, and you get cards from both of them. And you essentially have each unit's worth a certain amount of points, so they have a cost to be able to play them, but you also have this one takes up 2 slots and so on, right? And you might have 5 slots on your cart. So you want to position them. You got to be clever about your positioning. You want certain ones that have low health as well to have a more tanky one in front of them. And the whole idea is the enemies will come through and to keep coming through your 3 layers of your cart, and then try to get to the heart of the cart, which can also attack them and destroy it, and that's how you lose.
Hard cart.
That's destroyed. So every single battle as well has got like a boss monster that you have to fight, and then once everyone's attacked, normally what will happen is they'll go to the next floor once they've attacked, right? Once your dudes have attacked and their dudes have attacked, they go to the next floor. But with the bosses, what happens is it'll keep attacking until that floor's dead, and then we'll go to the next floor. So when I was playing it, I was enjoying it. Does Game Pass tell me how many hours I put in? It should do. Tell me your secrets, Game Pass. I put just about 11 hours in, so not a bad wee stint. I think, for me, it's definitely a smash because I think it's worth playing, and I think the devs deserve a bit of love for also making. It feels like it. The sequel just feels like it is just a straight improvement across the board on the first game, which is great. So, are you interested in this?
Actually, yeah. Will I have to have played the first one to?
Not at all.
Hell yeah. Then that's a smash for me.
It's a smash.
Because I wanted to dabble the first one, I just never got around to it.
I remember you
So
talking about it at one stage, yeah.
yeah,
So I can give that a red hot go. What about you, mate? You got a smash?
it's a soft smash. Um,
Yeah, you're thumbing it in. I get it.
yeah. So
Also,
one
I'm gonna I'm not just being rude on my phone. I'm gonna try find that image. So
easy. Um, the game I've been playing on Game Pass is Metaphor Refantasio, and it's hard. Yeah. No. Okay.
like your
First,
dick.
not while playing this. Jesus Christ. No. So presentation wise, I think it's like it looks great. It's it's got the anime drippings on it. It's real colorful. I like the setting of like how it's like medieval times. I was expecting it to be basically just Persona reskin, but none of the demons from that you have to fuse, which I think is cool. You have these things, and the way that the story does it is like shows you it as so you sort of do have this little persona thing. They're called archetypes. They're like big metal suits of armor. They look really anime. And the way that they get summoned is the character starts glowing yellow or glowing orange, and then they rip into their chest, and their heart has like a little like speaker into it, and they proclaim something, and then they can transform into these archetypes, and that's how you use like your spells and stuff. Um, which I think is cool. You everyone can swap to different archetypes, and you can do things like thing called skill inheritance. Like, say you are like the baddie with the bangs, Hulkenberg. Her character is a tank, but you're in an area where a lot of characters have weak to like light damage. So you'll swap them to have their archetype as the healer, level up a couple of times, and inherit like those skills, pass it on to like that class. Uh, it does the whole thing of Persona where you have X amount of days to do the objective. So you have to reach this castle, get to the big bad, but there's like little rooms that are basically your base that you discover them. That means you can save there, and you can, if you want to end the day, you can choose to go back to that area. It is a soft recommendation on the fact that like it is hard, and I remember going up to the first big boss, and he would summon two zombies, and the zombies then he'd enrage them, and then they'll do damage. Like, sweet as. I know the strat, you got to get rid of the zombies first. But then I was just like, man, I understand his weakness, and it's making me think. I trained like two people to use light damage and like a main attacker, but I was getting dicked a lot of the time, and somehow the strategy just came through. But in praise, I like the idea that you have lanes. So the front line, you'll do more damage, you'll receive more damage. Um, but then you can put like your more fragile characters, like move them to the back lane, less damage done, damage dealt, which works because what you'll do is you'll have two attackers and your tank. You get the tank to swap to the back lane, but they have an ability where it causes all the enemies to target them. So they're still the enemy's still popping off, but it's not like three hitter quitting your party. Um, Again, it's soft recommendation because you'll hit a wall. Well, I hit a wall. and I know that you're meant to exploit like the game mechanics, but I don't know, man. It happened to me a couple of times. I'm not that deep. Oh, I'm like I would say second chapter, and it was a game where I would play for several hours while listening to my YouTube slot, and then I'll just get frustrated and be like, "Fuck it, I'm going to Baldur's Gate. I'll play that for hours, and then be like, okay, different mindset. I'll go back to Metaphor and be like, I really need that time away from it, and other times like, nah, fuck this game, but it's good. It's just it's hard, and you definitely have to think about. I know it sounds real dumb, but you definitely have to think about like your setup before you charge into a boss. But the
I've heard
voice
that as
acting's
well.
cool and it's pretty.
I've heard that as well. For some of it, it's like going into like some dungeons, and then feel underprepared, and you're like, ah, fuck, I've got this whole fucking dungeon, or with the wrong shit. Because there's some what parts can you change in the dungeon, and what can't you? Can you change your loadout? But
Yeah, yeah.
can you change your party in the dungeon?
Well, I only have three people in my party at the moment, but I'm pretty sure you like the Persona games. You can exit. You can go to the entrance of the dungeon and change your characters,
Okay.
and then go back, and it won't end the day. I am hitting a little bit of a problem that I had with Persona 5, and that was um, getting resources to refill your health. Sweet as. Magic, on the other hand, it gets like I can't be spamming heals because I either got to end the day or I would have needed to buy or find some MP replenishing resources. So yeah,
Makes sense.
it's a thinking man's game.
Oh, so not for me then. I like to think. I like to just execute. No, it depends on the game, eh? Like sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It all just depends.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've heard good things, but I could just tell looking at it, it's not my type of game.
it
And look,
it is a good game,
that's fine.
but and I love the fact that you're not high school kids.
Oh,
It's a
dude,
nice change.
they're so good, man. They're so good. I just
10 out of
that's one
10,
of the
actually.
biggest. That's one of the biggest things that puts me off Persona. Is like, dude, I finished high school so long ago. I just don't care. I just don't care to be a high school kid, like at all. Doesn't interest me.
Imagine that though. You're there's a Persona game where like you're the main protagonist and it's set in a high school, but the big plot twist, like near the end of the game is like you're not a student. You're 36 years old. You're hanging out with these kids.
Hey, you're a creep. You're a predator. It's like, oh fuck, okay, yeah, it's a concern. But I'm interested. Not in the kids. For the record, not in the kids. The premise of the game. Yeah, so for me it is a game pass. It is a pass. But
We need some game passes.
because every time we're like, bro, smash, like every single game we talk about, like, bro, that's such a smash from me. So yeah, it's a real kind of pass, and it's not because I think it's a bad game. I
You
really
just
think it
know
seems
it's
like it's
not
a
for
great
you.
game. Yeah, I just know what's for me and what's not at this point. You know, I've been around long enough just to know what I like and what I don't, and it's fine, eh? Like, it's what it's all about. And let's end this show on a couple of reviews. So of course mine's Elden Ring Nightreign, because it's all I care about in this world. It's all I want. And the review is the hardest boss in the game is called Friendless, the Lonely Player. This is by Rensu. So this is a problem that people have been having with Nightreign, and it's just having mates to play with. Because it is just worse with randoms. Some randoms have been fine. Like I say, one of my probably my second or third win that I got, I was hard carried. I'll admit it. I was like, these guys are fucking good, man. I'm going with the flow. The team play was there. It was perfect. So, no shame in that, mate. I'll admit when I was carried, that's fine. But yeah, it's for me, that review gave me a chuckle, and it's very much a name of like Friendless, the lonely player, and the boss music would start, and you'd be like, oh shit. What about you, mate? What do you got?
I got a brief and silly one from Perry, and it's a review for Mega Man Battle Network Network Legacy Collection Volume 2, and that is first I jack, then I bust.
I mean, yeah. If you played Mega Man, mate, there's no innuendos there. That's just what you do, mate. Mega Man jack in. You're like, hey, excuse me.
Mega Man jack off.
What are you saying to me? Lan?
Lan?
Is that character's name Ian? Nope, that's an L, mate. That's Lan.
That's Lan.
It's actually a fucking cool name. I actually love it, man. I love Battle Network.
Well, do you want to know something a funnier name?
What's his brother's name?
Yeah. Hub.
Hub. Lan and Hub. Yeah. No, Japanese, they love doing this shit as well. It's like Dragon Ball Z is like, oh, that character there, Gohan, yeah, that means rice in Japanese. You're like, oh, cool. Mega Man's at least better because it's like networking. And I actually think it's like, the names are kind of cool, man. I like it.
Yeah.
All right, so it's going to conclude episode 12 of the No Scrubs podcast. So, dude, we had the tiniest document on this, right? We had the smallest doc we've ever had. And we were like, oh, well, at least we'll get an hour out of it. We got so off topic on every single thing we talked about. This was 2.5 hours, and we covered fucking nothing.
To quote you when you were playing Repo, how about that weather? There sure is weather.
Was that when I was the only one alive or something? And I was like, just like, oh, you got to say something. Yeah, but we find a way to talk about nonsense.
Yeah.
But it's always enjoyable just doing it anyway. So, anyone who made it this far, thank you.
You're a real one.
We appreciate it. Comment below your favourite Night Lord. And Script will be like, oh, I didn't play the game. I don't know. An Elden Ring Nightreign. Tell me all about it in great detail in the comments.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me you love me and you want to bear my children. That's fine too.
Don't tell me that. Don't send that to me. No.
Steven's got enough kids. He doesn't have to worry about that anymore.
No,
we don't need more of you running around.
No. Nah, not. Don't do it. This guy though.
I don't know about that, mate. I think one of me's enough.
Man, tell him how
Don't
sexy
you fucking start. Fuck off.
the gaping dragon is.
That's better. Now we're talking. All right. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.
Thank you for your time.
We appreciate it.